Dyrachyo. What is he working on right now? He has the Mask of Madness and the Dragon Lance.
Yep.
See him farming Ancients and is an Ogre Club into the BKB, so things have kind of slowed down, which we talked about against the Midas is maybe not the best of moves, but we'll see how it works out for Gaiman. Echo Saber there for Uragi as he's working towards his BKB as well. And obviously, from a Mars perspective, the Midas has been online for a decent amount of time, which now he finishes treads.
We will ensnare into Sunstrike with all my spells into Artyom Kamik. What do I get? I have wards. We will ensnare into Sunstrike with all my spells into Artyom Kamik. What do I get?
Oh, quickly back to live as Ace is dead, so we didn't get to see that gank in its full juicy perspective. Dyrachyo, they didn't call what they were going to do, and they were successful.
Hello, Ernest! Kamusta naman, Ong? Ba't OTW ka?
True. As usual. I was about to say before we saw this, I mean, it still rings true, right? I think the most impressive thing about Gaming Gliders this game is how much farm Ace has. He has 141 CS, he's topping the charts, and that was after laning against Smoky King Sapphire. Ace does a really good job in general for this team at finding a lot of farm. I think, you know, I think that was part of the reason that Gaming Gliders were doing so well earlier in the year was when they were running these tri-lanes with Dyrachyo, they still, when they put Ace in the safe lane, he managed to just find a lot of last hits on the map in the jungle, just be very effective even with a bad start. And that's exactly the case here as well. He's 1 and 4, but his CS is very impressive. Boom.
Oh, boom goes in, gets the Avatos, but it's on a support Naga. He gets Hurricane, but there's the song. Taking some damage from the Arcane Curse. He's just going to TP out in the midst of the song as the tier 1 tower will drop in favor of Gaiman.
It's still, this is what
Namiss ko yung mukha mo. Ah! Kabog! Pang ako naliligo kasi maaga yung game.
I like the choice there of holding the global. They could have killed the Naga if they wanted to, but they think the global silence is too important in order for them to go for their next objective, which is right here. And this goes very, very fast, actually.
Yeah, they have to be careful. The Mortimer kisses are online. If OG have an idea this is happening, the Sunstrike is going to reveal a little bit. Their Avatos back into the pit. Amar just dead, just like that, as the Mortimer's kiss is coming out into Dyrachyo, but the global silence counter that the panel talked about. And this is looking like a potential free Roche for Gaiman now.
Yeah, OG's just giving it up. They're not interested. They don't have their Slaughter. They can't get in there.
Yeah, and the zoning Requiem as Boom secures the Aegis for himself.
Interesting they didn't give it to the Shadow Fiend. I really thought you were going to put that one on Dyrachyo. I think this hero is often very vulnerable and takes a lot of...
Go ka na si, sino pupuntahan mo? Teka lang, share mo na.
Yeah, Boundless Strike into the Wukong. Sunstrike's coming, but he is okay. So he's trying to bait some TPs potentially, but nothing actually came.
Para magkaparehas yung ano nila. Gaming Gladiator.
Going for the wave, aren't you? Is Uragi gonna try him again here? No, not quite. From really good stuff. They not only do they get the Aegis, but keep in mind this Radiant lineup is incredibly good at killing Roche. So the fact that you take it away from them is almost as valuable as getting it yourself. Dyrachyo would love to have it now.
The Aegis could have been on him, but instead he would have died twice in this scenario, I would assume. Although, you can see Gaiman starting to pincer in a bit. The Avatos onto 3, Misha very low, nice Firestorm from Ace as Uragi kind of separated from his team, attempting to TP out, and he will be able to TP successfully, just barely out. The Aegis was consumed.
Yeah, that's pretty good for OG. You're happy with that. You find the Shadow Fiend and you get the Aegis on the follow-up fight. All you lost was your position 5. That's great. Very, very good TP there out from Uragi, obviously counting the stuns, knowing there's nothing left. The only cancels that they have are Requiem, which was dead, and then Underlord Root, as well as the tiny combo that was used immediately at the beginning. So.
Magandang umaga, Jay Masangkay. Good morning. Kasi tanghali na. Maaga lang ako natulog kahapon pagkatapos kong panoorin yung School for Good and Evil. Ang ganda siya. Ang dami pa ng book yun. So parang magiging ano yun. Saka nandito kasi sila Chuck nung ingay. Pero maaga naman ako nakatulog. Kaya ano naman, fresh naman. So, ang ating almusal ay Dota. Literal na almusal ay Dota. Di ba tayo nag-almusal? Laglagan to, di ba, Jay? Lower bracket.
What a sick ward. Like, I totally understand OG don't expect there to be vision there minute 19 around their own triangle there, but that paid massive dividends. That's a huge kill on the Monkey King. They get a little bit of a bonus there. And obviously what OG were hoping for here was for the Shadow Fiend to go and farm the Ancients so that they could get that kill with Monkey Snap plus the Sunstrike. But Gaming Gladiators one step ahead. They knew it was coming, and they set the trap. And that's going to result in a BK being picked up on Duracho, and he's immediately eyeing up that Aghanim Shard. It feels like it's different how people progress from this point on SF. We've seen some people get the Shard, we've seen some people go straight Butterfly, we've seen people go Daedalus in this slot as well, Scotty, there's plenty of options.
Hello Benji, naligo na pala si Piang.
I think the Shard is nice though.
Good morning mga B.
Right now,
Tingnan na natin.
you want the extra, I mean even just the extra little bit of fear is actually very helpful.
Why are you laughing? Isn't that the best
Oy, laglagan nga to.
I mean it's half a second, right?
He gets initiated on by Amar, who pops his newly picked up BKB, continuing to bash away as the Raid Pack is placed. The Global Silence is not really going to dissuade OG from continuing any further. And Taiga is going to get the backup of the rest of his team now. Now the focus is entirely on Ace, and the Mortar Miss Kisses are going to be enough.
Buhay pa siya.
BZM off the back foot of this. 3 dead for game, and as they are punished severely.
Friend ko yan sa Ace sa Steam. GG Ace ayan, Underlord siya. Kasi naging jowa siya ng friend ko. Naging boyfriend siya ng friend ko. So, nagkakalaro kami dati. Divine. Pero kung sino man yung naging jowa niya sa friend ko, hindi niya na dapat malaman. Ganon. Pero naging jowa niya. Naging girlfriend niya yung kaibigan. Kaya friend kami sa Steam.
Secondary attacks carry anything.
Ni Ace.
No attack modifiers, no crit.
Mabait naman siya, nakakalaro ko siya. Kaso nga lang lag siya, pero mabait siya at masarap siya.
I wonder if SF, if they could choose, if they would prefer this over Grow. I don't think they would. I think SF would rather have that. The attack range and the magic damage increases is super nice in this hero.
As he's actually opting not to go for the shard this time, so it will be a Daedalus.
Oh, he did he change his mind? He has the shard, right? It's coming out. No, is it? He went Chrysalis, you're right. So he did change his mind. Yeah? I heard you laughing at the half-second fear. It's like, okay.
You were the one laughing. I like that. That's the reason I think it's good. Last year we were actually dumping on this shard. And they added the fear, and I think that makes a big difference.
It is definitely better now.
So we have a smoke now from OG. They enter the triangle of Gaming Gladiators. They're not going to
see. Still there, but this time around, obviously not visible.
It's actually going to pop here, but they don't know that Boom is in the trees. So it looks like nothing will come of this other than potential wards here. So now they're heading towards the bottom lane.
The game just showed, I think they showed on this Naga illusion, at least one of the heroes did. They see Ace.
TP out. Ace might be the only one caught out, but the TPs are coming to the tier 2. Scott inside the ice wall. And it's going to force some BKBs out of BZM, so not too bad for Gaiman.
Yeah, there was no backup nearby, and Amar still doesn't have the dagger, so it's a nice setup from BZM. Landed the spells pretty much perfectly, Tornado, EMP, and Ice Wall, and then into the snap, but they didn't have any follow-up, and Ace is just way too tanky for him to deal with on his own.
Is the 4K lead mostly Midas related, you're saying? How much? I don't even know how to equate that at this point.
It's hard to say. I don't think it's mostly Midas. It's obviously starting to matter, but you also do have a 404 Invoker with 225 CS, right? So BZM is having an outstanding game here. I think that's a really large part of the net worth difference. It's actually his difference down to the Shadow Fiend, who is playing a different role in the net worth league. And yeah, speaking of the Invoker, relatively quiet game for Boom. I feel like when this guy plays Tiny, he has a tendency of really taking over games and popping off on these Tinies, Emperor Spirits. The spirits that are very kill hungry are his best. Hasn't really found many opportunities.
Yeah, it felt like when he picked up the Blink Dagger, there was like a 6-minute period where they were just farming still.
Yeah, they finally found those 2 kills in their own triangle, right? That he was involved in. If he didn't find those, he would have had 3 total kills to his name and a 25 on Tiny. It's very low for sure. And it feels like, so in this game state, I think OG are so comfortable, which is the biggest concern really for Gaming Gladiators, is that it's got to be in the back of your mind that OG want this. Yeah, they want the game to stall out and nothing to happen. They will smoke themselves now with a better map positioning perhaps, but like they don't have to make a lot of moves as long as the lanes are in the right position. They feel very comfortable with just scaling up.
Yep, Celery, tanking the game. Deleted. More Alacrity, and yeah. Pretty much any hero would die there, so Gaiman would be happy that it is Celery.
Yeah, with Alacrity, Treads, and Midas, you might almost have regular attack speed against Enchantress. Very good.
Maybe that's part of the reason for going it. He has the damage from his buddy in the mid lane.
I think you're going to see most Alacrities probably going the Monkey King, right? But I mean, that's another nice thing about their lineup. Both heroes have the guaranteed procs from getting multiple attacks in. Right? You combo that with an attack speed hero. Very nice synergy again.
Wednesday, di ba? Hello, Frere. Claire.
Gaiman have to get that one.
Hindi Wednesday.
The first time they got it, like you said, it was kind of taking
Tuesday, bakla ka. Hello, Joms. Walang umihilik, wala dito si Joby.
Like meaningful way. That's BZM. Not going to get gone on here by Boom, who is working on the Aghanim Scepter.
This is actually really good timing for Duracho, so we're only 10 away from Big Bad Stone Man. And they do have a DD on SF. Good vision here from OG though.
Mortimer's Kisses gonna reveal Celery here. Taking heavy damage, has the heal going though. You can tell Amar, the blink is canceled thanks to the Arcane Curse. And Yuragi now resetting. A little bit of an awkward mini engagement here between the two teams as they know that Roche could be up.
Once again, great play.
Di ba si Yuragi na lang natitirang kalbo?
It's very important that you have the right read. I think Nisha was maybe hoping to bait it out. Because if he forces the global there, OG are very strong to contest Roche.
With
that still in their arsenal, they have ways of solving the BKB.
Si Misha, ito yung kamukha ni...
It's a really big part of OG's team fight.
Yan, di ba? No tail.
And if they see him at any point,
Walang
and he has to
umihilik
pop
dito,
BKB defensively before he ults, they just global him out when he starts channeling the ult. And it gives them a lot more space and time in the fight for SF and the Tiny to deliver. Yeah. Gonna see this is a really, really important moment. OG had the vision in the pit there. The Naga vision as well as a Forge Spirit.
Yeah, but Roche is already approaching the half HP mark.
Hindi lang.
Try to contest this. This could be a turning point in this game, no doubt about it.
Nice.
Right into Misha.
Angat po
Roche
yun.
is abandoned temporarily, but Ace is caught out. Yuragi gets off his ultimate, but he's taking heavy damage.
Bakit mo dinidilaan si Kuya Eli? Hello, Sir Raddy. Good morning.
Kind of resets his fight to a degree as Boom gets the Avatos onto Misha. It's going to be close on this kill. Finally finds that's just the first step in this engagement. As you can see, Amar going to town on the BKB SF through the song. And he's going to find that kill relatively easily, but he's going to be traded as a double kill for Celery of all heroes. And it turns into a 3-4-2. BZM has to ghost walk away. Yuragi's still fine and healthy. As the rest of the game and might have to reset a bit as 2 cores have died. And really the trade is for 2 cores is BZM!
Meron siyang ano eh.
Double kill thanks to that Sunstrike. And with that, Gaiman have to abandon this for the time being.
Meron siyang tag doon
Pretty
ni
healthy.
Amat.
So it's not going to be an instant take for either team.
I wonder this fight that we just had break out there where Ace got effectively forced down to 20% before he got out of the Monkey King ult. I wonder what that fight would have looked like if they globaled the Monkey ult. So we see it here, right? Yuragi jumps in and channels the ult there.
Paano
If
ko
you
panalo siya
global,
doon sa flash?
he's just gonna pop BKB and ult again, right? So I guess there was just no way out of this. But it is a really important thing for OG in this fight that Ace is that low. If Underlord has a little bit more presence, he can offer more protection here.
Sapong-sapo niya kasi yun eh.
By playing more aggressively in the fight, but he had to back off, and that gave Amar the angle to just go in straight away and just isolate Duracho out of the fight. Shadowfiend is that big damage to the for Gaiman. Oh, we're back to live here.
Yeah. We have mass TPs onto the outpost as the Mortimer's Kiss is coming, but not that much damage applied. As you can see, inside the pit, Roche still pretty healthy, but OG going to try to start taking it now. Ace gets the Firestorm off, and here comes the tree volley from Boom, but not a whole lot of damage applied, mostly to Roche himself.
Patay gago. Sniper. Ay, sniper.
Gets the 4-step off just in time as BZM has to re-engage, has to reset completely as BZM is taking huge physical damage from Duracho. And both teams neither have found a kill in this engagement, but Gaiman feeling pretty nice to go inside this pit, at least at the moment. And such a tense moment here, knowing that this could be deciding the game potentially in the second Roche.
Yeah, Duracho could get the shard for free.
Very important.
Imagine that.
Naku sila pa na ako.
There is Song of the Siren. This is not safe.
No Mortimer's Kisses at the moment, though. Here comes the Tornado. It's going to clip Dyrachyo, and of course they have the spam of the illusions to give the vision here as Roche just continually taking these tickles. Time and time again. Smoke out from OG. Requiem trying to buy some time to be able to take the second Roche, and they get it. Dyrachyo with the Aegis and the Shard. Looks like they actually want to try to fight this. Is OG able to get the beautiful meteor onto several heroes, but Tofu and company able to maneuver onto the other side of the pit. They haven't lost anybody here. Did they get the Roche kill? No. Oh, you're right. Dyrachyo snatched the Aegis, so...
I think BZM Sunstruck the Roche.
Either that or an illusion from Naga, potentially?
I think it was Sunstrike.
Wow. I mean, either way, the Aegis and Shard are far more important at this stage.
Absolutely. And they get the buyback on the snap, which is probably the least important out of all those four things.
Kala ko papasok na siya.
Yeah, Sunstrike, you're right.
Si Ragi nakapagpa.
50%.
Okay, thanks. Quick robot.
Ay, si Ragi. Si BCM nakapatay ng Roshan.
0.5% accuracy on the Sunstrikes. Not too shabby. I mean, every hero has a stun, basically. Like, a little easier.
Yeah, so depending on your perspective, maybe that's bad.
That's horrible, yeah.
Wow, you missed 6 in this game?
Did Dyrachyo eat the Shard himself? Yeah, I think so.
Do you eat it?
Of course, consume. That's the same as eating in my book.
Sakit to.
Yeah, okay. We'll take that.
Okay. So Dyrachyo with the Aegis for another 4 minutes.
This is actually a really strong time for Gaming Gladiators in 1 minute. Dyrachyo is going to pick up the Daedalus at that point with that fresh free Shard and the Aegis. I think Gaming Gladiators are finally going to start looking at some tier 2 towers and taking more control of the map. Maybe they will even do it before the Daedalus, but it just feels awkward to do it right now. You're 300 gold away, but maybe OG aren't interested in defending bottom anyway, in which case, you know, power to you. You can... One of the luxuries of having this Underlord is that you can send him top lane and he can connect with your team bottom with Fiend's Gate. Kind of Dawnbreaker-esque gameplay that this hero can pull off. So they're not even too worried about ending up trading towers, but they should be worried about Ace's life potentially trying to fade out a BKB here. Now he doesn't have the mana for it.
Yeah,
it's going to be an
he's done.
Amara.
TP's matter not. Wukong's command use from Yuragi. I guess that's going to be used to ward off the rest of Gaiman that were potentially coming, and they'll take the tier 2.
It's a celebratory arena for the tower.
Yeah, makes sense.
Oh, that's not where he wanted to get forced by Celery, I think, but it's okay.
I mean, OG have done a pretty damn good job of... I mean, they've been giving up the Aegises, but it feels like they're the ones with the Aegises in a lot of ways. Gaiman haven't really been able to capitalize either time.
They have 2 of them.
Shut up.
Pinagsasampal.
Oh, Assault Cuirass now on Amar. And the physical damage continues to be ridiculous from the side of OG. But it feels like both times that Gaiman have had the Aegis, the lead has grown a bit for OG in some way.
Well, now we can start talking Midas, because now it's been quite a while, right?
Yeah.
Both Invoker and Slardar, I would guess, have used it about 10 times each, perhaps. So that will obviously start really mattering and racking up. And Amar, as a result, also with the extra experience, has now reached level 20. So that's the -4 Corrosive Haze armor talent. Now down to -24 total on that spell. Do you ever buy a shard on this hero at this point? Like, it feels like a pretty good, valuable purchase, right? Yeah. Especially considering what heroes you're playing with. A lot of the time, Slaughter wants to get it for free from the Roche, but Amar is prioritizing, for the time being at least, going for a Nullifier to prevent the Force Staffs, which is honestly the main thing keeping him from just flat out killing heroes on his own, right? It's that they're pushing them away with the Ench Force Staff, with the Shadowfiend Pike, and a Force Staff and Silencer too, right? They have 3 of them. So that Nullifier will be very valuable.
Well, Gaiman with the Aegis, grouping up top lane, they get the tier 1, looking for the tier 2 next, but it's going to be a trade again as OG, despite not having the Roche goodies, are A-okay with this trade.
Right, it's forcing time.
Indeed.
Here we go.
Less than a minute left on the Aegis, so see how OG want to try to approach this.
Do they have any offensive Force Staffs?
Balance strike, and look at the damage! The Aegis is just gone like that. Now the Wukong's command into the meteor.
Basag yung mukha.
Blink of an eye. Ace has to BKB Fiend's Gate away, and the rest of Gaiman have to ditch. Celery doesn't have that opportunity, and it looks like Tofu's TP gets canceled as well. So 3 dead as OG just on another level here. Now with a 12K lead.
Yeah, I was looking if there was a potential offensive four-step play there onto the Shadow Fiend.
Ang sakit ni ni Amar.
They don't have any four steps. They don't need them. They literally just kill him instantly. Obviously, the Gaming Gladiator, they have one save, which is Global Sounds, but doesn't really work for situations like that. Like, when they jump the SF, they pop Global. I think he still dies. And on the second leg, they have literally no chance of saving. He's getting perma-bashed by the Slardar when he comes back up, so that kills him.
Grabe yung damage ni Amar.
They drop the Monkey King ult, and I think Amar turns back on him as well. Like instant bash again. He didn't play.
The fact that he had the presence of mind to go outside the Wukongs to hit a couple of random enemies to get the bashes up again, to be able to get the literal perma bashes is insane.
Yep.
Man, clean. So hard to play against that. As Tree Volley coming in. Boom. Oh, okay.
Sobrang kabe.
Back into the pit. And they're going to get some form of revenge onto Amar. They're going to need a lot more of that to get back in this game.
Well, they could at least claim a mid-tier 2. I don't think Amar is interested in going back for that unless OG do get a very clean setup once again. But maybe they're going to just try to defend it the aggressive way. They're pushing top and they
initiated on. The sheep stick is there. And he is deleted.
Kawawa naman si Tofu, my love.
Back here. They can defend their tier 2 tower mid by pushing top. The OG have, or Gaming Gladiators have to come back here. They're sending back the Underlord for now.
Forge Spears won't be able to finish it off, although boom, he's going to get ensnared, and you can see Gaiman have already keeped a couple heroes, so they don't have that many in numbers. Boundless Strike connects as well. Duraccio has to Requiem to try to zone away the rest of OG, but there's the Sheep Stick and the Meteor with the Mortimer Skits. There's so much fire destroying the Stone Man as BZM able to get his BKB off, but you can see the song being used, and now they're just going to focus down the BKB targets for the time being. So 2 dead in favor of OG. With the
lambot ng
strike onto 2, and Gaiman are getting destroyed.
Oh, so clean. What an insane fight from OG. Everything landed perfectly. Man, great spellcasting series. The way they set up that kill on Tiny and take advantage of him not having BKB is just so clean, right? And snare into the scatter blast damage so he can blink, into the follow-up from the Monkey King. Just so clean.
What's the worst that could happen?
And everything from Invoker. That's a good line for that moment.
Some positivity here is OG now going to the high ground, and obviously we can see there are a couple buybacks, but they're not going to be that impactful right now. The fortification is popped, and this is looking like minimum 2 lanes, if not more. And again, when Shadow Fiend's back, he's going to have half the soul, so won't be as powerful as he could be. Scotty now picked up by Yuragi. That's 2 lanes. Now trying to go for the Megas.
Ano yung Pokemon? Naglalaro ka? Meron ako yan! Water.
Does have buyback this time though, but at this point it's going to be Mega Creeps. They're just getting zoned out by BZM who has a delicious meatball surprise with the refresher. The global
Duraccio can't play. Like, he's literally just not
on the outskirts, and the rest of Gaiman are stuck
I have a lot of
in
Pokemon.
Fountain right now. Good
Nakalimutan ko eh. Ilan yung Pokemon mo?
I think it's just the range racks on the top to be able to get those Mega Creeps as Yuragi pops the BKB. Boom, with a pretty good tree ball there. It's not enough damage at this stage of the game. They're going to be able to finish off, and that's a dieback for Mr. Boom himself. It looks like game 1 as GG's come out, go to OG. In an extremely convincing fashion. I know we came in thinking OG would be the favorites coming in, and they're showing why here. They're able to play greedy with double Midas, and it worked out.
It did. Gaming Gladiators went for one of their, tried and tested and true strategies, but they didn't get the lead that they needed. They're very used to, when playing these kind of tactics, to get that early advantage and snowball with it, and OG managed to weather the storm in their lanes, keep it close, get the Midases, get the farm up, and honestly, just a standout performance for me in this game by BZM on the Invoker. Not really too surprising, I guess you could say, from an Exort Invoker with a good laning stage, but just really clean across the board. They pulled out this first phase Naga Siren support, made it work. Kind of caught, it felt like it caught Gaming Gladiators off guard in the drafting stage that this Naga was just transitioned to a position 4. And yeah, just very clean stuff from OG, inspiring.
Do you think that Gaiman, like looking back on this, I mean, this is just my thoughts, and it means nothing at this point. But
I know.
when the two Midases come out,
Oh,
do you think that's
sorry.
why they just need to get like ultra aggressive? Is that something they could have changed?
I mean, it's easier said than done, right?
Oh, for
Because
sure.
the thing is, these minuses, it's not like OG are playing a lineup here where they're unable to fight because they have minuses, right? I think the hero that was suffering the most was the Smart Arm, but Monkey King had a great start, Invoker had a great start, and they were just setting up moves left, right, and center with Misha and the Snapfire and Taiga on the Naga, so they had time, and they got the job done.
So game one goes to OG. Of course, it is a best of 3. This is an elimination series, of course, because we are in the lower bracket. Let's see what the panel has to say about the physical damage lineup of OG.
Thank you very much indeed, Sunspan and Cinderin. We're going to prepare for that second game of the series and break down the first one. And it was a lot about this matchup. We got the carry matchup. I need to talk of panic pressure coming out from Gaming Gladiators Lacoste, where at some point they got the ages, they're like, oh my god, we need to make this work, and then everything fell apart even more than it.
Wow, GG.
Everyone can relax. The Monkey King has arrived.
The Monkey Kings arrive. Hello, Christian Casado.
Kaya nito lang sa tilang sa base. Para nakakadil lang.
They won't know what hit them.
They won't know.
All right.
Uy! Help!
They can't stop me.
Uy! Ano na ba yun? Oh!
On the move.
Close! Kain ko na yan.
I'll fight anyone that gets in my gear.
Wala, nag-double click.
Show me what you've got. Right. I'll go where the action is.
Uy! Uy! Hunter! Uy! Ba't ako punta dito?
Yes. Where to?
Ang dami.
Illusion.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Ready for anything.
Illusion.
I love this part. Nothing will stand in my way.
Ang ganda.
It's over.
Wala, bago na.
Enemy's middle tower has fallen. On to run with a
Ba't
broken
hindi nag-ano? Pag naka-auto.
Incoming! Ooh! I'll go high.
No!
They can't stop me. nice view. Here I come. Not so fast. Incoming. Oh, here I come.
Oh! Uy, namatay ba ako?
Find trouble.
Sabang mo na yan. Tinaya mo na. Dash!
Yes. Ready for anything.
Makulat ko na to.
Thanks and have fun.
Thanks and have fun.
Yes, time to go back to the drawing board for Gaming Gladiators. We'll see what they got coming towards OG in game number 2. And while they're discussing that, we're going to check in with Casey and Slacks and see what they're up to.
Woohoo! All right, so we came out to find some of the biggest fans from both teams. That's who we came out here to find. OG fans in the house? OG! Except, who is your favorite player?
Seb.
I come out of the crowd, I'm like, OG fans, they're like, me. Everybody's like, Seb, go Seb. I'm like, he's not playing this, that's changed, right?
Yeah, he's back there. I know he's there.
What do you want to say to him if he can hear you right now?
I hope we can get a picture with him and interview.
Yeah, Seb, stop what you're doing right now. Come on out here, we need a picture. What about you? Who's your favorite player?
ATF.
Ooh.
Amar.
Yes. Gather in.
ATF, Amar.
ATF, BZM.
No tail.
No tail. Again, with us in spirit, but yes, I like it. Now, you guys promised you would do an OG dance with me. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, come on, let's go. All right. I'll bet you Slacks can't beat this. Good luck.
OG! Cut the camera, there's other teams out there. In fact, the Gaming Gladiators, we found the literal Gaming Gladiator celebrate. Is anyone here on GG?
Sarap.
All right. These people need to get motivated. The boys need to hear you in the back. Please give us a rousing speech, Mr. Gladiator.
Gladiator fans, are you not entertained? We never give up. We're gladiators. We're strong physically. We're strong mentally. We're never out. GG. Next game. Let's go.
Hell yeah, let's go! I want the game 3. I know the Gladiators do. I know the OG fans do. Casey! Game 3! Game 3! Oh, that is a great impression. Thank you very much. And we'll put it back to you guys. Who has this? Whose hat is this?
Don't worry about it. You steal drinks and
I got the
what
lights.
are you doing here?
That's not good.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you very much, Slacks and Casey. You got quite some fans in the arena. Indeed, are you doing well, Jenkins?
What do you
are
got
well?
there, Jenkins? Some sauce OGs, huh? Okay.
Sausage. Yeah, speaking about OG, I feel like the last game, the fact that they built 2 Midases, they knew that they could basically hold out the early to mid game, that eventually the timer was on Gaming Gladiators.
It really was?
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, that's it. That's all.
Okay, well, with that said, let's focus our attention on what the teams are actually discussing right now, because we've only had 2-0s, and these teams, they're very well aware of it, and as we heard earlier today, momentum and confidence plays a big part in the current meta because of the extra duration of the games. Jenkins had a perfect explanation earlier today. But that means that there's extra pressure coming into the teams during these 10 minutes. Immortal Faith, the coach of Gaming Gladiators, got his work cut out for him, of course. Effie, what would your speech be?
My speech?
Yes.
I would say, don't give up, guys.
I'm not sure if that would do the trick.
I'm motivated. I will take this gladiator guy from the audience and put him
That guy.
like do the speech for me.
That's true. They should find that guy
Do the
and
speech.
put him in the booth.
Do the speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I think that Gladiators really are onto something because that game didn't look bad. Like I said, the map just kind of got out of control for them. Their heroes were not equipped to play the same macro game that OG's heroes were. But those first 25 minutes, they really had the right idea because as we see with OG, they're still not playing the Wraith Pact offlaners, and when a team like Gladiators does group up for the 5-man, they can exploit their Wraith Pact hero, their 5-man heroes, versus OG's really greedy cores still.
Indeed they can, and we are having the teams coming back on the stage. So all those discussions have already taken place. There's only one focus now, and that focus is on the upcoming game. That focus is on the draft.
Hello, Marcus!
See that these teams are very...
So, ito na. Game 2 na tayo.
And so, because they knew that Naga was not going to be in the hands of Yuragi there at the end. It's going to be interesting to find out what else they got up their sleeves. What else do they have up their sleeve, you think, Lacoste?
I think Gaming Gladiators, they need to shift things up a little bit. Like their hero pool, as we said before, was one of the lowest ones, and these players, they can play different heroes. Also, like Boom did great. He did extremely well. We saw games against Fnatic when he popped up completely on the Storm Spirit during the DPC. His Ember Spirit, his Storm Spirit were one of the best tools. Something that did lift this team up.
Hello, Agi. Siyempre, OG. Kahit masarap si Tofu and Ace.
And maybe I also want to see Ace on something different. Like Jenkins did say that Tidehunter, one of his best heroes, definitely wasn't picked so far in the international. But yeah, something that can run at people, something that does stuff.
Grabe naman si Misha. Paubos na din.
He's been actually playing a lot of Brewmaster. Not run at you here.
Paubos na rin si Misha B.
Kind of is, but he's pretty dependent on the ult. Brood kind of takes over an area. Underlord, yeah, that's the new hero they're coming out with. Underlord is like, yeah, you take an area, but Enigma, same thing. Like, yeah, it would be cool to see him on his Beast or
even Visage, yeah, Night Stalker, some of his signature heroes as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Ace's hero pool is an issue, right? Because this is how the meta is going right now for most of the teams, with the exception of OG, of course. They're always doing their own thing.
Yeah, they are the exception.
Yeah, because he's going for these Wraith Pact heroes. We see it all the time. We've seen it work for every other team, and it seems to be okay. I don't think the Underlord was that much of a problem. I kind of just think that, like Lacoste mentioned, Boom used to just play these explosive spirit-type heroes that had high mobility and were always setting up for kills. Tiny can be played the same, but it's a little bit slower. It needs that Blade Dagger. It needs a little bit of time, and often it will just need that BKB. So I would like to see Gladiators just go back to basics, go back to their comfort, right? They innovated so many things that we saw for so long. The Io and the Storm, the Ember versus Huskar, like literally picking Ember and Huskar. That's how much confidence they had in their players. So let's see that again.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team, we got some stats throughout the break that Tofu is the top 5 assists of all time for TI, right? Going into the game. And
yeah, that's the finish.
And Darachi also has average GP, is the highest average GPM in this TI.
It is time to get into it. It is time for game number 2.
Game number 2 na mga B.
Gaming Gladiators versus OG. Game 2.
And if we want Tofu to once again get high assist numbers, he needs to play something else other than Silencer.
I think that was a part of the problem, to go back to Jenkins' point about him being very active in terms of the assists.
You get assists for pressing global. Now they changed that. If you silence somebody and they die, you get the assist for it.
Do you actually?
Yes, you do. Yeah, it counts on the ticker as an assist.
Okay, so now for silencer with the refresher this game.
Yeah, just maximize your assist stats.
It counts because it's a debuff, and all debuffs count as assists.
It used to not though. Now if you're spear pricker charging somebody and they die, you get an assist. You actually get gold for it now.
That's always been that way.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, because if something didn't take damage, you would not get the assist.
That's not true. I used to play spear breaker 2 years ago and just get so many assists charging heroes that aren't.
Well, yeah, but we're old. I mean, 2 years ago, it might have actually been when they patched it. Like, I'm talking about like 15 4 or 5 years ago.
Just so you guys know, you know how you try to like make your stats better than they actually were in Dota games? I used to do that Spirit Breaker all the time. When I knew the hero was dead, I would just charge it anyways. Like, give me that assist to make me look good.
I'm too old for that meta. I never thought about it that way because it never counted when I did it.
It didn't count, no.
All right, we're in the draft here. We got ourselves Gaming Gladiators on the Radiant side this time around, so they swapped around. First pick is going the way of OG. And we have Shadow Fiend, even though it lost, still removed from the pool. Compared to previous game, we saw previous game, OG, they banned out both the Marcy and the Primal Beast. Now both are still in the pool. On the side of Gaming Gladiators, they stuck with the same thing. They still ban out the Razor and the Timber, and the Undying next to the Shadow Fiend is the other one removed. And it is going to be Pango as the first pick.
So this Pango is just a testament to how this hero, since his release, has just been so useful in what he can do in the game. But right now, most popular as a mid laner, he's very good as an anti-zoo hero, right? He's anti-summon, he roams around very well, can match the pace of a lot of heroes, and he's very heavy on skirmishes.
He's also an anti-carry hero because the SARs is something that
Gaming Gladiator.
players don't like to play into. This is going to be a silence. A good way to counter Pangolier when he tries to use the role to be able to lock him down, or even focus him down with the heavy physical attack while the rest of the team does have global on them.
Yeah, but also Enigma is still in the pool, so if OG had decided to pivot and just pick that Enigma in the second phase, the Silencer has already been picked up by Gladiators. We also saw what Silencer can do around the Roche Pit, right? He just secures these early Roche fights incredibly well. So outside of simply just countering a hero, he does a lot for early objectives.
I'm fairly certain that one of the higher win rate heroes in the game versus Primal Beast is Viper. You'd think like there's some break mechanic at play there, but I don't think it has anything to do with the break. I think it's just that you can Viper ult the Primal and screw with his trample through the BKB once he eventually picks that up. So Viper can always, kill him when he charges in, and also Primal Beast, like, he gets in your face, and you just get 5 stacks of poison on him and kill him through his ridiculous armor and high HP pool because he's the highest strength gain hero in the game. So I do like this Viper pick.
Yeah, they might shift the priority of this Primal Beast because both Boom and Ace were playing it so far in this TI, so maybe start thinking about different, even Viper is a flexible pick. Like you can go to pretty much every single role with this hero, and Yuragi, his hero pool is the highest at the international. So, they might still run Viper. He's played so far, I believe, 18 different heroes.
Crazy. All right, we're gonna Lich ban out coming from Gaming Gladiators, and now we see also the Marcy removed.
And Lich is a hero that we have seen become a lot more popular simply as a response to the Marcy because people have caught on to how strong Frost Armor can be, especially if you're not playing versus any Dispels or Purges. And a lot of heroes like Primal Beast love to combo this hero. We've also seen it comboed with Lush, and just that early boost of being able to go in the enemy team, just go in the center like a bulldozer and live out for as long as possible is really annoying to play into, even if you're not directly countering anything.
And just removing a couple of strong heroes for OG here with the Broodmother as well. Templar Assassin removed on side of Gaming Gladiators, also potentially avoiding some extra minus armor strat from the carry side of things. Now that there's no Slaughter at play.
It's insane that Enigma is just ignored. Even by the teams that get the Silencer.
And Marcy just all the way to the second phase.
There it is.
But I just feel as though the heroes that are incredibly popular during groups always fall off during main stage somehow. And
at least a few of them, yeah.
They can figure it out.
But the thing is, we were making these discussions,
making
these points about how main stage meta shifts towards teamfight and
Nagit na kayo?
I feel like Enigma is a hero that has comfort for almost everybody because he's
Ba't di mo na kayo kumain? Bago ka mag-play.
You need to know how to play Enigma, otherwise you're going to be very crippled when it comes down to variety of the heroes that you can play. And Crystal Leaf, I don't mind seeing Crystal Maiden Silencer as a duo because I think it's a bit different. Crystal Maiden does scale quite a lot in late game, but this is a good counter. Having Clockwork against both of these supports and also blocking the Primal Beast. Like, if we go way back, I don't know, 5-6 years ago when like Ancient Apparition, Shaker were extremely popular as heroes, Clockwork was always a counter, being able to scout them in the back lines and also initiation on them, forcing them to get a Force Staff. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to do, but you know, you still need to get the gold from somewhere, and after the recent patch, the gold is you get less gold of these supports, so that means that these Force Staffs are going to come into the game a little later.
Yeah, and I have to, that's actually a really great point. Support just got super nerfed.
Hey, kain ka muna kayo, sabi ni Daddy. Jay, tawag kayo ni Daddy Eli. Now, hello! Hello, RJ! Pa-shoutout kay Kim, 204 OG. Let's go. Yes, yun din ang route ko. 2-0. Kukuha lang kong kanin, nagpipikings pa kasi. Be, tawag kayo doon. Ni Daddy.
Which, interestingly enough, I thought maybe Bounty Hunter would become more popular simply because of
Parang magkaano sila ng ano.
Hero still sucks.
He was very popular in pubs just before TI. Like, I was thinking...
That's because people have fun stealing gold from people. That's what I love.
It is pretty trying to go grab one.
But as far as drafts go, I think OG's draft is pretty scary right now. This last Lifestealer pick from Gladiators does a lot for him because he counters a lot. He can fight through the Rolling Thunder, he can fight the Viper, he can fight the Clockwork and the Jakiro. So this is a great hero, but taking that away, they just have so much to counter the Primal Beast. They've got this Clockwork, they've got the Slow from Jakiro, they've got the combination of Macropyre plus Power Cogs, they've got the Viper Strike on the Primal Beast. And all of these things that I mentioned, who else hates them? Two slow-moving support heroes.
I think Ursa's still in the pool for OG. They might be a little limited on tower damage, but just looking at the carry-to-carry matchup, like it's great against the Primal Beast who wants to get in multiple times in and out, and just the matchup against the Lifestealer is really good for Ursa.
And you'll two-shot these supports, dude. There's no way a Crystal Maiden can deal with it.
It's also just not bad for Monkey King again if that's the route they want to go. The Monkey King is an excellent pick. Last game the BKB timing was nice, and it's really good here too. Especially when you have a Pangolier who can do so much for you. The Monkey King was super capitalized on because of the Invoker Sunstrikes, him having the stun, being able to set that up. It won't necessarily be the same effectiveness in the first 15 minutes of the game, but as the game progresses, also still great pick here.
Even Terrorblade is a good solution because these heroes can get on top of you, but their damage is extremely limited when he has a BKB.
I like the idea of a melee carry more, simply just to pair up the Clock with the Viper and the Jakiro with the melee carry.
It's a great Void game. I was actually looking at Dota Buff, and Void has one of the top win rates versus Primal Beast. It's great against these like spellcasting supports who are very spammy, and you can time dilate them for a lot of damage and chase them down. It's great against Lifestealer. I think if you go late game Lifestealer versus Void and you don't have some sort of other like semi carry, it's basically a loss. Like it's very difficult for Lifestealer in this matchup.
But it just kind of counters what Lifestealer wants to do with his Rage versus the rest of OG's heroes. Worst comes to worst, you just chrono that guy and you try to kill the rest of his team, right? And then by the time his Rage is over, your team can handle it. So I like it a lot. But I remember when Primal Beast was the scourge of pub Dota, when he was first released, it kind of felt like the only way to beat that hero was to pick Void on the safe lane, just because he jumps away from him, right? He tramples you, you get away. He had no inherent means to kill you after he already used his charge. So even though Primal Beast has a lot of bad lane matchups now because he got nerfed, Void is still tried and tested, works really well against the hero on lane, in the game, and with the BKB timing.
Is it time to shift this Primal Beast to the offlane and get something?
A semi-carry like Storm would be amazing.
Yeah, because they do have lockdown with the Pangolier ulti, Ice Bat, like the Chrono, but I think you need the hero to boom. Yeah, I'm thinking about Storm, but especially because there is Crystal Maiden.
Hello, Patrick! Boosting, lower bracket Patrick. Sorry, kumuha ko ng rice kasi Gutom na ako at
Nice clock game, actually.
ang ulam ay
the cogs into rolling
sinigang.
and just the combo.
Hello, Kit Bernabe!
I mean, he just enabled
Sakto
everybody
dating
on
ha.
his team. Also, the rocket flare vision to set up
So,
the chronospheres. He actually
let's
has
go
every
OG for
single
2-0. Kahit
hero on his team. That's
bet
one
ko
of the
si
best
ano.
clock picks I've seen.
Si Tofu. Kain mga B.
And that means we're going to have a Primal Beast played by Ace. That will be his first Primal Beast play of the International. But does this mean, this Storm pick, does this mean that you guys are a little bit more on board on the potential of a Game 3?
Because I've been thinking about like what options do they have, and this seems like a good option. Something that doesn't rely on any cooldown. You can play very aggressive. We did say that
Carries the game as well.
Yes, exactly, and feels much better. I would say I'm still a little
The
worried
eight.
for their damage output once Faceless Void gets to his like 3-4 item timings.
Yeah, we're going to find out. I was loving hearing you guys.
Tara,
thoughts. I
KM.
think people also are going to love hearing the thoughts of Seb, who's standing by with slacks.
Pero mas maasim pa rin ako mag...
I'm here with the
Chuchu. Si Chuchu.
Fantastic. So, Primal Beast, pretty good hero. You only picked 5 counters against him. Do you think that you have enough to take that beast down?
Should be fine.
All right, should be fine, should be fine. Now, how much did you guys prepare for this match against Gaming Gladiators? I know that you guys are the favorites always to win TI, so they're very prepared for you. Did you do a lot of research against them?
I mean, it's like 4 or 5 hours straight preparation.
So, okay, he's not lying! Shut up in the crowd. All right, thank you very much. All right. Are you going to win this game? Give it to me straight, Choo-Choo Train.
I guess.
I guess! All right! Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me pass it over to the most successful podcasters in all of Dota 2. They paid me $100 to say that. Sunspan and Tendrin!
Thank you very much, Sir Action Slacks. Another very good interview. Hopefully, an Emmy Award-winning interview. Just that specific one.
I love the confidence when you can just tell the coach, like, I guess. You just know it's in the bag, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm so inspired. You know, I think coaches saying, I guess, have a higher win rate than coaches saying we are definitely winning this game, at least at this event so far.
I would love to see the statistics on that.
Yeah.
One-word answers, if that equates to more wins, or if they're eloquent, perhaps they lose more.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense, but
Kind of like
I feel
me, I talk a lot, but not so much play, you know? So
Yeah.
it makes sense. It really does make sense.
You know what else makes sense? That this is game 2 because game 1 is over. Not sure if you're aware of that, Cinderin, but
That's true.
Game 2 of this lower bracket matchup between Gaming Gladiators and OG. OG with a 1-0 advantage so far. And they're looking to close this series out while Gaming trying to hold on to their TI hopes and try and force a game number 3. We're finally going to see some Primal Beast action. But the panel kind of talked about a lot of bad matchups from my boy. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, so Clockwork is already a little bit of a tricky one to deal with because you're a mobility-based hero, right? As Primal Beast, you really need to move around and navigate the fight, and you have an ability that gives you a lot of armor, but in the way, like Clockwork is 90% magic damage, he has a lot of ways of interrupting your movement with cogs, with hookshot, battery assault is annoying, and you have Pangol, that's going to be annoying for you. You have Ice Path that you need to navigate around, Viper Strike, and then the final last pick that OG get, which kind of reminds me a little bit of what they did in game number 1. They picked this Faceless Void, so if the Primal is going off lane, it's going to be playing against Void, which is one of Primal's worst lane matchups. You can just time walk away from the trample. And if he's going mid, he's going against Pango, who can just swashbuckle away from the trample. So they kind of cover their bases here where they see Gaming Gladiators going for a top-tier pick, and they just make sure there's nowhere he's going to be truly happy to play. So it's a very disruptive way of thinking about drafting. Not only do their heroes make a lot of sense together, but there's one singular hero in the enemy team that you're really just trying to make miserable, and that's going to be Ace. So curious to see how he performs in this game. I think it's a very difficult Primal game.
Yeah. What about the other heroes, though? We have Lifestealer with the Infest Bomb potential into the Storm Spear, which was the last pick from Gaiman.
The Storm pick was very good, for sure.
So see if they can execute properly in the mid-game. Try to get some pickoffs here onto OG. How many Midases can see in this game from OG?
I don't think BZM usually has Pango, so
yeah.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say 0.
0?
The
Viper Midas.
Maybe Uragi will buy one, wouldn't he?
Yeah, let me face this Void.
Namaya na kita bibigyan. Nakain pa ako eh.
And Amar buys one every game.
Kumain ka na rin eh.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. It definitely could be. And on the side of Gaming Gladiators, yeah, Lifestealer, probably the only one who would ever buy it, really. If you buy Primal Beast Midas, you're playing the hero wrong. I'll go out and say that right now.
Maybe he needs it real bad this year for the bad matchups.
I think that's not a good look.
I mean, what kind of itemization can you go for Primal Beast to try to mitigate like the counters that you're going up against?
I mean, you obviously have to get BKB, right?
That's every game.
Yeah, but you have to get it even more this game. You have to get 2 BKBs this game.
Oh, so a refresher. Okay.
But you don't have mana for that, so you need some sort of item to give you mana. So you're gonna hope that you find.
All right, give me the full list of items that will allow him to have double BKB.
Is he getting the robe or not?
Let's just say everything goes his way.
Okay, BKB phase boots robe refresher, and then is Wand enough? I don't actually know. It's probably close.
I don't know. His mana pool is atrocious. As Taiga taking pretty heavy damage in the bot lane here. Dyrachyo pops the rage, take off those poison attacks.
I mean, how would also go BKB refresher and 6 mangoes?
Okay, sure. That sounds a little less than ideal.
He has 3 of them already. He's halfway there.
So he just needs to not use them.
He almost
Mamaya na be, kumakain pa ako, wag mo kong
Maybe you can get the
pabuda.
mango tree. Then it would be
Bigyan kita later. Okay.
So much Misha.
Onslaught with the trample, lots of damage. I mean, you talked about how Yuragi can deal with this, but what about Jakiro?
Yeah, Jakiro is not particularly good against Primal in lane, so Misha definitely has to be careful about positioning. One of the upsides to Jakiro over certain other supports is it has pretty high base HP, so getting the full kill is difficult, but you put a lot of pressure and you do economic damage. Jakiro's probably going to have to buy salves here if he keeps getting pressured. But yeah, it could be better, it could be worse. There are certain other supports that absolutely get bodied by Primal, and Jakiro is not really in that category, but it's also not the greatest.
We are many minutes away from this happening, so I don't know why I'm bringing it up now.
Tier 5 neutral items?
No, actually, for once you're incorrect.
I can't believe it.
Well, I'm bringing this up because I know you're such a big fan of Clockwork, but
I am.
seeing the Aghanim Scepter at this tournament, it hasn't been picked up as much because a lot of it's support and you have to get the gold, but when it's picked up, it feels impossible to play against a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think the biggest upside to it is just the vision, right? If you're playing support Clock and you just spam out the rockets in key moments, you get a lot of information, which is very powerful. I do think in this game, Taiga is more likely to go 4-step, though. I just think it's too good to not buy. Playing against Lifestealer, you're playing against Primal Beast. Oh, Taiga. Damage down here. What will we find, though?
Yeah, has to be careful with that Ghoul Frenzy, of course, level 1. Very important spell for Lifestealer.
I mean, unless they see incredible value in getting the multiple rockets, I think the best Clockwork build in this game is probably 4-step Lotus. Get the Lotus against the Global Silence for any teammate of your choosing so you can save them. It's a great way of countering Storm Spirit because you can't really Vortex unless you BKBs. And the 4-step, just amazing, right? Primal, Lifestealer, even Storm. If the hero at least turns around before they get pulled by Vortex, you can reset their position pretty well. I'm going to trade again.
It could be very annoying because Dyrachyo has to pop the old rage and just walk out. I mean, from BZM's perspective on the Tango, when you're going up against the likes of, like you said, the Global Silence, which can be really annoying. What's the Yuragi? Oh, the Trample.
He has time lock again.
Though. But what kind of itemization for BZM? Are you having to go BKB at some point? We used to see Lotus Orbs back in the day, but that hasn't really been as much of a thing for the mid-Tango. Or you're relying on your team to get them.
I kind of like Diffusal here still, right?
Well, you're going to go for that regardless, right? But like...
Yeah, after Diffusal, I don't know, is BKB enough?
Yeah, that's going to be first blood for Amar. And Dyrachyo has to be careful. Going to pop the rage, though.
This bottom lane got basically twice as strong when Taiga hit level 3. It is such a huge turning point for Clockwork's ability to play offensively. Like, heroes that can usually somewhat trade with you just get absolutely destroyed all of a sudden because you more than double the damage of Battery Assault. Goes from 20 to 45 from that level 1 to 2. One of the biggest spell upgrades in the entire game, in my opinion. Alright, good setup.
And with the Frostbite, a lot of damage to BZM, but he gets off the swatch.
Oh, the
miss from Boom.
I still got
low ground, but he still finds the kill in the end.
Very close.
That was very close to being extremely unfortunate for Boom.
If Taiga had enough mana for Cogs, he might have actually survived there. They find the Jakiro.
Gonna get trampled down, and Yuragi gets off the time dilation. He's not going to be able to likely find a kill unless he gets a time bash here.
Any bash? Any bash?
No.
This reminds me of when I play Faceless Void.
Okay. Give me the deeds.
I think sometimes it's tempting to not skill time lock because it just doesn't work when you're playing the hero. I understand why other players skill it though, because it's really good on them. So.
So it seems. Yeah. But bhi3 in the mid lane, 36-5 versus the 28-6. Despite that death, was ahead of the CS. But we can see in the network, essentially even, all things considered, as he is now level 6, so the Rolling Thunder available. I mean, from the Storm Spear's perspective,
hearing an onslaught, total miss there.
Yeah, he does take down a lot of trees, though.
That's true. Is that one of the predictions for this game? No, it is not.
Those are my favorite, yeah. I missed the community challenge to kill trees.
Dyrachyo needs to be careful here. Has the phase boots, which is very, very useful against the clockwork.
Yeah, Tofu gets up the last word, but bhi3 with the Rolling Thunder. Nice juking from Tofu.
Fancy
going on, though. I don't know if he's going to hit him a second time. No. Tofu definitely has his dancing shoes on as he's able to only get hit once.
I believe this is what some people refer to as NA driver. That's that name.
Celery, he's going to get soloed down. Amar actually gets credit for that kill. And now the Viper strike onto Dyrachyo, defending the TP out. Oh, he dies in the fountain. Oh, dear. Very unfortunate sequence of events for Gaming Gladiators in this bot lane. That feels awful, so he's going to have to make the walk of shame. And, I mean, do you have to go to the jungle? Because obviously Viper strike, now that that's online, very low cooldown.
It's not only that, Amar's going to be level 7 and you just cracked level 5. This bottom lane is over. The problem is, lifesteal in jungle is pretty slow, and you can at least still somewhat sustain yourself down here, and I think if you leave Maiden down here, it's just going to get doped non-stop, right? So you probably kind of have to just go there and pick up the pieces and get what you can. But yeah, Amar with a complete dumbstring in this lane now, 1,400 net worth ahead of Dyrachyo, 8 minutes in. Effectively 300 more GPM if you think about it that way. That is, that's scary if you're Gaming Gladiators. This bottom lane, definitely they could not afford it to go this poorly from the get-go.
You can see that it started as a smoke and now an invis rune topped for Boom, who's now in the OG triangle, but Taiga.
Getting the Viper here would be a really, really good play to try to bring back Dyrachyo. I think this is the right idea with this invis rune. And it looks like Amar's no idea.
There's the initiation. He has to stand his ground with the Nether Toxin and the right clicks. It's actually
trade him
he's
away,
just going to rot away inside. So it's a 1-for-1, and now Celery with rotation of bhi3 will be taken out. So it looked like it was going to be a clean pickoff for Gaming Gladiators, not to be, and it might be even more as Boom has to expend a lot of mana, but Taiga, not quite level 6 yet.
Maybe not, actually.
He's catching up. Shield crash, and he's going to get locked down into oblivion, so another kill for OG.
And that is another big part of why Amar is so strong on this hero, is that even when the enemy team is going for his Viper to try to solve the lane after it's been lost, if his teammates are fast at rotating, Viper is a pretty hard kill. You can see Amar going for the traditional item build of
Chronosphere, and Amar is on the other side as well.
That's a goner.
And uses the Viper Strike just to ensure another kill on a core hero for Gaimin.
What do you think about Amar's item build? I don't think I've ever seen this.
What do we got here today?
Dragon Lance?
Dragon Lance?
Wraithband, Null Talisman.
Oh, I didn't.
Okay.
And 2 branches, no stick. He's getting the mana regen from the Null, and then he's not buying stick. This is one of those do not try it at home moments. Don't do this at home.
I'm sure people will.
Or do it at home. Maybe it's easy to pull off and look good on.
Yeah, that is odd, but Amar always has his reasons for.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he has bought this multiple times before, and I just haven't noticed. But it just stood out to me. This is an item combination you very rarely see. Wraith plus Null. Good steal there from Boom, though.
Yeah.
Got some of it.
Patay.
Eventually, though, to Misha.
Tamaan ng apoy.
And now Celery looks to be next, potentially. Not even needing the Rolling Thunder. And Gaimin they're getting punished every single angle of the map right now.
That is a kill I would have never expected there. The fact that OG finds that with that combination of Jakiro and Pango was really, really good. And it was on the edge, too. I think he died from the last tick of Dual Breath. was the very last second, so also a close call.
Uragi, the global silence, the Infest out, and they do claim themselves the Faceless Void. And it's hard not to look at the scoreline because it's a 3K lead for OG, but Taiga, he's going to be the next to fall, it looks like.
Okay.
So Gaiman able to get some important kills here to try to get back in this game.
Well, they've also taken half the mid tower, so not too bad. Great rotation there, good first global. Usually what Faceless Void does so well against Primal, which is also what happened in lane, right, is that you go on him and he just time walks away. But when you do have that global silence and you time it well, you start off the onslaught where Void is like, oh, they're going on me, and then you global him and he can't solve it. Obviously Void will be itemizing against this eventually, but not yet.
Ba't ganun yung replay nila, Mr.? Nagsasalita sila pala.
Gibberish a little bit here and there, but
sila pala yung nagsasalita. Kaya pala true side trick.
Kill. Good strategy there. I do believe that is a winning strategy most of the time.
Yeah, Tofu, he's dead.
Oh, kill.
That's definitely a throwback to Eternal Envy days, right? Just repeat the same word.
He would still be saying kill now.
It's just like an endless loop. Recursive loop if you're a programmer.
Why has anyone ever made an Eternal Envy remix? It's like,
I'm sure it
have that as like it'd be a pretty, I was going to say a pretty good beat, but maybe not. But it would be a beat.
I've actually seen one for sure.
You have?
Yeah, you can just Google it later.
Yeah.
But OG
I will definitely do that.
Ace and company in the driver's seat right now. I mean, what does Gaiman need to do? The Infest Bomb was great, but obviously the global silence was needed for that kill.
Yeah.
Very long cooldown.
They have global again in 10. I think you make another move like that.
So just do everything off global cooldown.
Not everything, but you need to use global. So whenever you have it, you should make a move, and when you don't have it, you maybe need to be a little bit more creative with the plays that you make, but when global is up, there's just no excuse for not finding a big pick, and it's going to happen right now.
Gonna spot him, he swashbuckles to the creeps, which actually gives him a little bit extra space. But there, he's gonna get silenced, and eventually brought down.
Cost boom.
Spotted, but I don't think they can close the gap in time. The ice path just barely not in time.
And that is why Taiga's nickname is What Can You Do? Sometimes you just miss.
And Duraccio focusing on the tier 1 tower will have to rage away as the rest of OG have come in. They brought this back for sure.
That was a very fortunate swash, to be honest. Like, that play got so much harder than it had any business doing because the perfect timing of the swashbuckle as Storm was jumping, and he had no way of knowing that. So, just pretty fortunate there. But also, again, Boom at least getting away from that is really great news for him. He's closing in on the Witchblade. Maybe he can solo Void with that plus global? I think, because Void has Treads Midas, right? Like, Uragi is very far away from any defensive item that's going to solve the global. He's probably going to go Manta after the Maelstrom, I would imagine, or BKB, one or the other. But until that point, I think Storm has his number. And they could even kill him with an Infest Bomb, I think, without global. As long as they have that Witchblade. Should be enough. Taiga is going to find Celery.
Indeed, inside the cogs. Ace is here to watch for the time being, but Duraccio pops the rage, and now the focus is on Taiga. Gets off the hook shot. Look at that range from Amar. They end up getting the support kill in the end as BZM gets off. Oh, doesn't want to go for the Rolling Thunder, but the Electric Vortex comes in. But you have to be careful to that Storm Spirit. The Infest into Ace with the trample. Not enough to finish off Taiga in the end as the Uproar procs. The cogs being used as a wall to be able to maneuver with this Rolling Thunder. That's going to be the death of Ace, and now a Chronosphere on his teammates, but the more important is on the Life Stealer, and Duraccio will fall as a result. Not the prettiest of plays, but OG still get it done.
I don't really know if OG could have done much more there. What I'm wondering is if there was a way for Ace to set that up better on the Primal, if they could have been quicker about it and gone on top of the Pango and then get the Pulverize off, but as we talked about pre-game, it is a hard Primal game. You really need to hedge your bets about how you go. We're going to see the replay here. So this is obviously one of the best matchups for Clockwork against the support. Crystal Maiden, super slow, can't really break your cogs very easily once she's in there. You kill her off. Now the Viper Strike going to go into Duraccio, forcing the Infest here. And this is where, so when this Storm Jump comes in, if Ace uses his spell combo onto the Pango, I think they actually could potentially kill him there.
I hear the onslaught, and that is a lot of damage. Taiga is dead.
That'll do. Closing in on BKB now Ace. We'll give him some more freedom, but it's not a guaranteed connection. You still, when you're pulverizing, you get countered by the Chrono, and you can get countered by hookshot. So it's not one of those primal games where it's just like, all right, BKB unlocked, I'm going to start crushing fools left and right. It's not that straightforward.
Is that a voice line? I'm crushing fools?
Is it?
I don't think he speaks any actual words, just roars.
Yeah, maybe one of them means that, though.
That's true. We don't have a translator on hand quite yet. I do believe he speaks the same language as Slacks. Man, we are on the same page.
We are on the same page. We finish each other's
horses. As Yuragi.
No, we don't.
Yeah, just move on. That was a good joke, Ace.
Yeah.
Inside the cogs, which gets broken right away by Taiga. He is dead again. Yep. So they're able to find him pretty consistently, which, like you said, is a pretty important hero to take out before any of these engagements, because it does disrupt a lot of what Ace wants to do.
Oh, that's a long jump.
BZM is going to be found, but the swashbuckle out. Ice Path does connect onto Boom, but I'm not sure who wants to fight here. Both sides kind of happy to walk away, it looks like.
I think OG are a little bit timid. They don't have their clockwork and global silence is up, so that is a pretty difficult fight to take. And they also have to read that there's obviously Gaming Gladiator's vision there, because Pango got jumped in fog. So I really like the call to not force that as Dire. I think the risk reward was just not good enough for you. So they're going to chill. Wait for Chrono as well. Worth keeping in mind, they didn't have that for that either, so probably even less eager to get anything done. But now that it is online and he has Maelstrom, perhaps OG are considering a move.
Radiant are scared. Carrying out the Infest Bomb ready to come, but the action's going to start onto Celer, who's just dead right off the bat. The Global Silence comes though. Rolling Thunder already activated. As Dyrachyo able to claim himself the first kill. They're going to find another on top as Amar falls. The buyback was used on the Celery. As you can see, the BKB already activated from Ace. And Taiga, the root keeps him in place, and Celery's buyback ends up being worth it. So double kill for Boom as Gaimin taking a big fight for themselves, although BZM able to claim Tofu.
Well, pretty good from Gaimin. They're really getting value out of this Infest Bomb right now in that Storm. Getting that Viper kill, just negating Amar in that fight. He will have BKB probably in the next big fight though, so then I think this play will not be successful next time around unless Lifesteal gets a Desolator so they have enough in the tank to just bring him down right away when they jump in. But yeah, good stuff for Gaming Gladiators. I think in a pretty good position here to proceed in the game, and obviously the BKB on Primal Beast, huge reveal there. Ace was able to create a ton of space in the fight, never got chronoed because Yuragi wasn't really there in the beginning and Clockwork was on the other side of the fight, so got completely free movement.
Players here. Yep, and for the rest of the item progressions, we can see that Dyrachyo is essentially halfway to his Desolator, which is going to be a huge power spike. What do you think of Ace working on, we've been seeing a decent amount of this, the Aghanim Scepter from Primal Beast. I mean, the first thing I think of is breaking, but it feels like it's been picked up consistently even without that in mind.
Yeah,
just a lot of damage.
I have to say, I don't have the best read on the, like, when and why this exactly is good in a specific game, but I will say one of the major upsides to buying is that gives you the mana for Refresher, right? So when you do take this path, instead of like certain other heroes, in order to get Refreshable by Scotty, you're definitely not doing that. So it's kind of between the Axe and Shiva, and I think in this game maybe he feels like the armor from Shiva is actually not going to do that much because the enemy team has so much magic damage that maybe he's better off getting some more utility this way and then transitioning to Refresher. I think that's probably the line of reasoning. But I'm not certain when I would say the Scepter is better than Shiva, because I think Shiva is really good on this hero in general too, so... But anyway, are those the 3 mangoes he started the game with? That would be hilarious. It might be. Maybe he's just kept... I mean, they get region, right?
Yeah, of course, just a little bit. I'm sure it's really helped out a lot as Smoke
does break there. Yuragi doesn't
know what direction. It is daytime. On the wrong side. Tofu, you have the zip coming in from Boom. Electric Vortex is there. And he's going to easily be taken out, so a big pickoff for GG.
Close to a time walk, but not quite. But that was global expended in half of Storm's mana pool, so maybe OG will look for something here.
Yeah, they're going to start out onto Ace. Already at half HP, pops that BKB. Viper Strike as well, attempting to TP out.
Not enough.
Will be fine. But Celery, not so much. Again, the sacrifice, I think Gaimin is A-okay with that.
That was, I want to say... about a 1/10 of a second away from a Primal Beast kill because Taiga just barely couldn't get on the other side of him to cog him for the knockback stun. So he did just get the BKB off on Primal there. With a level 2 hookshot, that's a kill 100%. Maybe if Taiga hits the angle a little bit better, he kind of got blocked by the creep on the left, so he couldn't find the angle there. And those things matter a lot. Like, that would have been a huge kill. It's the richest hero on the side of Gaming Gladiators that OG just narrowly miss. They do get the CM, as you mentioned, though, and that was a dieback from Celery, so he's on the sidelines for a very long time.
That aura is going to be very missed right now.
Yeah, level 1 aura.
Ace cares about that.
He has his mangoes. Wait, where are his mangoes?
Oh.
Did he eat them all?
I guess.
So really hungry all of a sudden. Do you ever like shotgun mangoes? Just like 3 back to back?
No. I'm surprised that's in the diet of a Primal Beast, if I'm being honest. Tier 1 tower is done. 3K lead now for OG. When it comes to the old Roche, Cinderin, who would you say has the advantage?
Probably...
Neither of them are like super Roche killers. What about like the team fight in the Roche as well?
Yeah, when Duracho gets a Deso, it definitely gets easier for the Radiant to do it overall, but I don't know, I feel like all the OG, if you put them on the spot, like you have Battery Assault, you have the Disarm from Pango, it all adds up, poison attack, lots of damage over time. The fight itself, I think it's completely down to Global Silence. Gaming Gladiators lineup can absolutely fight in any area of the map if they have vision and they get the initiation. If they don't, or Global is on cooldown, I think things get a lot trickier. So, Taiga, opting to go Shard. I think pretty rare, I would say, that Clockwork buys this first item.
That's true.
But really valuing that vision that you get out of that jetpack. I generally consider Force Staff to just be a better item than this because essentially a lot of the times that you use Jetpack to escape, you could do it with Force Staff too. But what Force Staff also offers is it gives you more mana and you can use it on allies. But obviously the thing that it doesn't give is the flying movement. It's the flying movement.
You don't get a jetpack.
And it doesn't give style points, right? Style points are pretty important on the TI main stage.
Absolutely.
Generally, the less you care, the better. So, Amar's the kind of player you want.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate, actually. I mean, there was a lot of questions when they were at their first LAN this year. How would they react? Because they're very good online. It's literally the same thing, right?
But then they had an interview with the coach, and he was like, I guess we'll win. And everybody was so inspired, they won the whole event. So
you can't blame them. This Rocket player will show that the Roche is being taken right now from Gaimin. You can see OG not that close right now. They're going to smoke up and try to contest, but this Roche is going down.
It seems like the purpose of this from Gaming Gladiators is to bait a fight. I think they know that they're not going to get it in time.
Yeah, they back out for now. So Lordy uses a hook shot, comes in, will connect, but there's the Global Silence into the Pulverize, so it looks like Taiga will be the first to fall. Gets off the cogs, it's, oh no, yeah, stuck inside the cliff essentially. Again, after the shield crash, finally finds his way to the high ground, and Celery will be the first kill on the side of OG with a buyback now into the Jakira, but there we see Iragi with the Chronosphere, all on the lifesteal, and he is dead. 50 seconds of no Duraccio, and that might mean OG gets Roche, but we'll see. There's only a couple kills, but again, the lifesteal is the big one.
The fact that OG come out of that
after the
with
first
that result, like double, he went from stuck to stuck with Rolling Thunder. Like
it happens.
They're gonna see the replay here of it. So good Global, in my opinion. I think they have to kind of combo break here and get the Clockwork out of the picture immediately, so they get a numbers advantage. At that Pango roll, and then this hero has some of the funniest moments in the game, but they were still okay.
At times.
Yeah, Roche, very low.
It is low, but the hook shot onto Ace, and it looks like Iragi is going to get the Aegis, no problem. Ace now cannot get out of the cogs easily. As a result, OG can pick him up. And now they're going to continue on. Boom. Pretty low on mana, but BZM pretty low on HP. So they reset, being happy taking that first Roshan for themselves. Now they're sporting that 4K lead. And the Global Silences, I mean, they've been consistently getting kills, but in like a Roche fight like that was, essentially, they popped it, they killed the support, and the support just popped back pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, they don't stay dead very long in these. And if you're just getting a support off the Global Silence, maybe not.
This has been one of the biggest downsides of the hero for a long time, right? Is that when you play it as support, Global is such a huge part of what your hero offers that if you don't get a big payoff,
Yeah.
It's not the greatest. So I think, I mean, given the circumstance there, if he doesn't global, I think that hook shot just leads to a really problematic fight for Gaming Gladiators. So he probably feels forced to use it, but it's like, I think that was a good global, but it was just because he had to. He doesn't want to use it like that. So you want in this game, you want a global to kill Faceless. You want a global to kill Pango when you get that jump off, but you kind of have to kill them in the Storm stun because Pango has the Yules into Blink and Void has the BKB.
We should mention Tofu does have Force Staff, and Celery's working on one for himself now as well.
Yep.
So just having these options for the cogs.
Yeah, you need that.
It's like your best.
Celery,
but here comes the initiation from Boom. Look at the first damage. Global Science is there for the Uragi. Pops the BKB and the Chronosphere. Trying to focus down Celery to start things out. They'll get him relatively easily. Now Doraccio gets destroyed. Misha gets credit for that, and Boom able to zip away. And Taiga, no hook shot here. So Boom is fine, but the initiation from Gaiman looked good initially. Not able to find themselves a kill, though. And that was still either way on an Aegis holding Uragi.
Yeah. They didn't have Ace as a part of the play either, right? So they were lacking that bit of damage and teamfight control that Primal Beast offers. But sometimes it is like this, that Primal Beast either, I'm not sure if that exact moment, if he was pushing out bottom, because if you're all 5 heroes missing all the time, your plays get really telegraphed. Sometimes you have to show a core to give the enemy team the chance of getting out of position or feeling safe when they're not. So it's understandable that Ace is maybe showing your bottom, but it's just a tricky situation when their lanes are this pushed in bottom and mid. Like you gotta take care of that when you're making the play as well. It's hard. And OG's counterplay is again proving to be too strong.
Yeah, Uragi, he might use the Aegis here. Nope, time off, he's fine. And now a lot of mana missing from Boom. BZM.
Are they actually
that Rolling Thunder. Celery, he's gonna be spotted and easily brought down from OG as Ace gets Force Staff action. Now the zip in from Boom. This is going to be an FS bomb. They're going to try to focus down Uragi. They get him. That's life number 1. But the Storm is already dead. You can see the Uproar Aghanim Scepter from Ace doing massive damage as he secures himself a double kill. But now all onto Doraccio. Gets bashed up, gets brought down, and it looks like Ace is next on the list. Pops the Uproar one more time. Oh, he actually gets a nice pulverize. Triple kill for him. And actually brought down to Uragi's hand.
How the heck did he get an over out of that?
Man, I love that Aghanim.
I have to say, it's kind of winning me over right now that I explained it.
In Aghanim's lineup, that's the hardest part.
That was a pretty strong fight. He did more damage than his entire team combined in that fight.
Absolutely. That is an issue, right? Because you're losing the lifesteal in the Storm pretty early in this fight. See the replay here.
Yeah, so Maiden dead straight off the bat. And that's a very nice use there from Misha of the Psychic Headband to push the Primal Beast away a little bit and buy some time.
This'll come in handy.
This connection is super good though. Really isolating, killing Viper. I think he had 1 second cooldown on BKB there, by the way, Amar. So could have been a very, very different outcome if that had happened 3 seconds later.
Oh, here we go. The Uproar is going to feel real good. Oh, yeah. Into the pulverize. A hook shot into live. Taiga. BZM is here to try to help.
It's disarmed there.
And Gaiman just disengaging a bit as, okay. Celery with the freezing field just wants to hit the R button this game. Understandable. Pretty hard game to get that off, honestly.
Yeah, if he doesn't use it, I think Taiga was actually trying to bait. He still had stick and mech ready. Wasn't expecting the freezing field damage to pop off there, I think. Wanted the Storm to have to zip to finish the kill, and then maybe they could have made a counterplay. Not worried about it.
What do you think of open wounds being picked up? Like an actual person. A lot of times lifesteal, you get it off of Roche. I mean, against high HP targets, it's extremely good because it's percentage based for each proc, but they don't. I mean, the strength here they have is clockwork, so a little bit odd.
I guess it helps him stay on top of targets and
some extra lifesteal.
He becomes a little bit less less dependent on Storm Spirit constantly. I think for the most part in these teamfights, Doraccio has been kited really hard. We've talked about all the counters to Primal Beast. They're counters to lifesteal for similar reason, right? Viper Strike, Cogs, Hookshot. If you have this shard, maybe you can stay on top of a target or at least reconnect on them later in the fight. It's a relatively small price to pay for the opportunity that it could offer you, right? But yeah, obviously you would rather get it from Roche, but that has not been happening for Game in this game.
Yeah. Miragi, hook shot. Taiga finds Celery again.
He still doesn't.
Mara's in the area to help finish the job. So support kill as Boom. It's going to be seen here from Misha, but pretty hard to catch that Storm Spirit without either. I mean, they have Ice Path, Chrono, and Hookshot.
That is quite possibly the worst Gauntlet challenge I've ever seen. You get Hookshot by Clockwork, isolated, and you don't have Force Staff, and then you challenge him to a duel as Crystal Maiden. I think you cannot use the Gauntlet any worse than very good from Celery. He knew that he was doomed. And I mean,
Celery, he's a memer, so.
You're 31 minutes in and you don't have Force Staff on Maiden. He's having such a hard game. He had the dieback earlier we talked about. He's just been dying every fight. 11 deaths here. And it's...
Oh, we got the zip in onto Amar, Duraccio. That's the BKB from Amar. He's going to try to walk away. The rest of his team is here. The bash comes out of the swashbuckle, but now the global silence in retreat for Gaimin. But the dual scepter, Boom, out of mana and brought down again. OG punishing everything that Gaimin is attempting here in this game number 2.
Amar's just so tanky. This is his standard Viper build. He tanks up. Dragonlance Scotty. 3k health, 25 armor. Lifestealer doesn't have the damage.
Yeah, Duraccio, he's gonna be jetpacked on, and the bash comes out for BZM, gets off the open wounds, but it's not gonna matter. He is caught out. And 2 big kills for OG. They can try to extend this lead now. Of course, Roche, we won't know when he'll spawn for the next 30 seconds, but they do have very good presence on the map, does OG.
Yeah. And Silencer's early efficiency is really starting to fall off now, right? Because this is what usually happens with the hero. Enemies ultimately get the gold to counteract your global. If you're not very farmed and have a refresher yourself, you can't really offer the same dangerous utility in the fights you could before.
Or you survive until you get tier 4 items, and then half of them will dispel global silence.
That doesn't help either. But Silencer has come back into the meta after a long drought, primarily because one of his his laning stage just wasn't as good as it used to be, and he got buffs in that direction that a lot of the times makes it worth it, even if because global is an incredible ability for a decent portion of the game, and the downside isn't as significant as it used to be with the laning stage. But now we're reaching that traditional state of Silencer that happens pretty often in this kind of game, where you feel like you're one button more or less, and you need to use it perfectly.
BZM has the
hard spell to use.
Right now. He's got Ags, he's got Shard. He has the 2.5 second shield crash talent at 15. He is doing a lot. He even has the Brigand's Blade, tier 2 item that he's going to still hold on to because it's that good on this hero. He is going to do a lot of damage in these fights. As long as he's able to get off the Rolling Thunder, he is going to be very fearsome. We have smoke from both sides. As Boom is being, he's infested on right now.
Radiant's top tower is...
I mean, we should say one downside to infest bombing, because that used to be the way to play this Storm Nyx combo from back in the day. You're not getting the HP benefit, really. Like, it's not a save. We've seen that from the group stage, how powerful that can be.
That's true. Yeah. If you're always engaging with infest, it never does anything else than that, right?
Yeah.
I will say, though, the way these fights have played out most of the time, I don't know how much of a save it would have really been.
Probably.
I think most of the time that OG isolate them, they're kind of just in trouble regardless of an extra 500 or 1,000 health, however much it is, depending on level. Right?
Okay. Well, they are going for the old Roche. It's already at half HP. And I don't think OG's going to get here in time, so this is going to be a nice sneak.
That is really, really important, actually, for Gaimin.
Duraccio regretting buying his shard now. Although Boom will take it, that's a very good one as well.
They put the Aegis on Lifestealer, not on the Storm. Generally considered one of the single best Aegis carriers in the game because of that full mana pool you get back, but...
That is interesting.
I don't know what the logic is here, because a lot of the time when you put Aegis on Lifestealer in this like Lifestealer Storm combination, it's because Lifestealer is going to go and hit high ground, right? That does not seem possible in this game right now.
Yes.
I think you have to find team fights, and that's where I like it more on Storm probably, so you can play more YOLO, just jump in, expend his mana pool, get a second life, and try again. Because as it stands, OG's heroes are just getting so damn tanky. Viper with the 3k health as we've covered. You've got Greaves on clock. Tango's got
Yuragi, he gets initiated on.
Okay.
And he gets
Oh, good.
from 100 to 0 instantly.
Like I said, they don't have the damage, Shannon. It's,
Okay, good tong hindi nakatalon.
right there.
If they're able to use, the shard does a lot of damage from Boom, of course, but I mean, like I said, the open wounds, it does percentage-based damage. Doesn't matter how tanky you are. Of course, they do have ways to dispel it, but if you're going to be stun locked, then it eats through you very quickly.
I think Yuragi was really surprised to die there. His 3k health and a Titan Sliver just died in the vortex. Crazy. Obviously, Boom with the level 20 talent has that longer vortex, so helps out. Is eyeing up a BKB now, has the axe. Yeah, don't count Gaming Gladiators out, even though it looks hard, because that Roche could have potentially changed everything. I think a little bit of a blunder there from OG. It's easy to say from our perspective that that is one they need to defend, but just didn't have the read at the right time that it was happening. And now Gaming Gladiators foot on the pedal, just straight down to bottom tier 2. I don't think OG are interested whatsoever in trying to defend this one.
I will say, even though, I mean, we're seeing them actually hit buildings with his Aegis, right? So that, like you said, having that in Lifestealer does help. And that's something that they did not take advantage of last time, is when they got the Roche, they were not able to do anything with it, as the Macropire used to slow down Ace, but he's going to be fine.
He was eyeing up the Shivas, but he changed it now to Refresher.
He gets hook shot, and the cogs back in, but the zip in. Oh, the instant bash onto Boom. He has to use his Yules just to keep himself alive. We'll have to zip away now, as even the Infest is used to actually disengage. Looks like Tofu's going to be the sacrifice, but that was an instant bash from the Swatch after the zip in from the Storm Spirit. It's a little bit unfortunate for Gaimin, but they don't lose too much.
I believe the math on getting a bash when you... Oh, hang on.
They're going to go back in, and you can see they're going to blow up Amar right off the bat. The buyback from the Silencer just to get the global silence off, and now the Pulverize coming through as well. Double kill for Doraccio, as Yuragi wants to try to fight, at least trying to get the Crystal Maiden. He'll do so. He'll time walk back out. Not a whole lot of mana to speak of now onto the Lifestealer, but he's got that Ghoul Frenzy, Cinderin, which is all he really needs. He gets hookshot though, so Taiga gives himself enough space to walk away. This Diffusal Blade is being very annoying on the side of OG against Gaimin, but Gaimin coming out on top of another fight here.
There is still Chrono. That was never expended in that fight. Global Silence on cooldown here from Tofu can't protect against Void going for that if he wants to, but yeah, pretty good again from Gaming Gladiator. Sure, you use your Silencer buyback, but I don't think that was too terrible. Aegis, however, only 1 minute left, so I think they would love to find one more fight as long as this is online. Global up in 30 would align very nicely with the play, and you are seeing them all go back to base to get resources, and I would imagine a smoke could be on the menu next. If they have any left, they don't, I think. None of them are on their supports, so maybe that's just not a possible play. Ace is showing himself.
Yeah, he was looking for something. He's going to get
Uy, naku po.
and he's going to be bursted.
Ulok ka, Yuragi.
He does have buyback if he wants to expend it, but it looks like OG will likely just attempt to get back to base. So Gaimin, again, with the Aegis, has made such a big difference in these fights that they feel very confident to go in.
That kind of felt like a bait from Yuragi, but again, it's just, he doesn't survive. They don't force step him, they don't get the hook shot in time. I think that time the Swashbuckle did also match. I don't even think he was unlucky on the payload. It's the wrong read on how tanky he is, really. And I don't really blame him that much. I'm also a little bit surprised with how easily they kill him, but considering they already did it bottom, by now he should know what the game state is, right? So this time around, I think less excusable than the first one. I mean, this game looked like it was getting really grim for them. I think, yeah, the win probability was 84% for the Dire, and now we're pretty much back to a 50-50. So anyone's game again.
Indeed.
Uy, Teresa, hello. Gago, nakapasok. Nice one, Aegis.
But it's not going to happen, but the reinforcements have arrived as Boom able to get one, but Taiga buys back into the game. Ace pops to BKB, now focusing on Amar with that trample, doing quite a bit of damage. Now we'll have to just TP out, but he gets back.
Hindi nag-bash? Hindi rin na-use?
Shield crash The bash was on cooldown?
May yulo siya, oh.
Got a bash from
Wala nang
shield
BKB
crashing on the
ata.
left. So I think his basher was on cooldown for that one. Because like, that was a shield crash plus a full swashbuckle. If you don't bash there, I don't know, it's like 25% maybe to not get a bash when you use both of those together. I think we're going to see it perhaps in the replay here, so keep an eye on that in the end off to the left. Nice global here, by the way, was almost enough to save the lifestealer.
Didn't mention the Greaves, by the way, on clock to be able to dispel that. Very
Oh, walang BKB, oh.
But the global just made him take a little bit of time to make that play, and that was enough to not get the full Cogs combo off. But we're going to see here, I think this is...
Wala nang BKB, hindi na use.
Crashed off to the left, right? It was on cooldown down there, so...
Yeah, no, he's happy. That was a close one.
Duracho not too happy with that death, though. It seems like both carries are a little bit too far forward. Like maybe each team needs a Lotus Orb or something like that to maybe protect a little bit from these jumps.
Oh, he's gonna get hookshot on, and the item is still down there, but he pops the uproar. No more bashes as a result, at least temporarily. Durachio's come to play as well.
Ayan na naman, be. Ano mangyari? Linkin nga kailangan nito.
Taiga, he's in his jetpack and he's TPing home. They find a lone Jakiro though. So Misha drops to the deck, and Gaiman seem to have turned this game around completely. They've been winning every little engagement since that Aegis was taken.
Is it time, Shannon? Is this when you buy A on this convoy?
Oh man, I mean, do you think status resist would help here, or is that not enough? I mean, it obviously feels bad to have to go for it, but...
He even swapped out his status assist, right? He gave away the Titan Sliver to get a Ninja Gear, so... I think in this, it's actually kind of ironic. I think in this moment he might have actually survived with the Titan Sliver if he had it.
1K na lang.
Out of the 3 times they
Malas talaga ni Carissa pag pumapasok.
And that was the time he didn't have it. I don't know. I'm joking about the disc, of course, but they need to find some sort of way of protecting their Void. OG have really dropped the ball a little bit here in the last few minutes.
Yeah, Boom has Sheepstick now.
That's huge. So, yeah, now... I don't know, I do think you have to play tighter around the Void. And keep in mind, OG has 1 Force Staff and it's on the Viper. He has the Pipe.
Boom actually initiates onto BZM, but there's the Eon Disc proccing for him. Durachio trying to re-engage, but he's going to get the Infest off onto Boom. He's getting bashed into oblivion. Into the Rolling Thunder. The Storm Spirit. Beautiful coordination from OG as Ace kind of left all alone right now, but he's a big juicy boy, so might not want to touch him here, Cinderin. BZM gets off the bash. Ace has to use Refresher and he gets bash mid-TP. Oh, but gets out the Onslaught and into the Yules. I would assume this is going to be a kill eventually, but he gets out the Pulverize now. He's going to get this kill on the BZM. Pops the Shard, and Ace just getting kited with the time dilation on top, and eventually the big bad beast is dead.
That is terrifying, though. The fact that he almost turns that into a kill is kind of ridiculous. Again, the damage recap with it. How many fights does Ace have to do more damage than his teammates combined?
Man, I'm sold on the Ags, by the way. It's really good.
I'm very impressed, too, I have to say. It's doing more than I was expecting.
But the result of this fight means that third Roche with Agon and Scepter on OG. Yaragi's going to take the Ags, so now he will bash via the Time Walk.
Yep.
Of course, that won't help him survive.
It will be a very reliable way for him of stopping the Primal Beast from doing his thing, though.
And now they're attempting to go high ground. No Storm for 15 seconds. You can see Ace does have buyback, despite being dead for 50 right now. Hook shot. And Tofu, he is donezo.
No buyback.
No, yeah, 90 seconds of no silencer. That is big. Now they're focusing down onto Celery. He does have buyback himself, but Amar and company really want to go deep. Chronosphere completely
Kidro na si Amar. Lalo na nabasag.
But either way, technically speaking, Gaiman does defend. And now the zip from Boom, finding the Jakiro. Double kill for him now. So they defend, and they got, no, the Aegis is still there, and it's still
Kronos ka Carissa. Nakrono si Ama.
For OG as well, but that did require 2 buybacks on Gaiman, so it was costly, Cinder.
And a helpful Chrono. Yeah. That's unfortunate. I mean, you can totally understand why he's going for that chrono. If it lands, we're going to have the replay here. So I really like this engage first off from Taiga. There's a 1 minute cooldown. It's also buyback. I think OG have track of this here, so they know it's a high impact kill. They find the maiden here. And if this chrono connects on the storm there, they kill them both. We're talking 0.3 seconds, so it's like easy to be like, lol, what are you doing, Uragi?
Oh, we got a double buyback from OG as they've lost their mid-center racks. And that means game resetting. You can see Amar not too happy with being chronoed by his teammate. Understandable. Ace is infested on. You can see Gaiman. If they can get a nice little cheeky kill on the BZN, that'll be a dive. Okay, that's the Aghanim Scepter. Electric Vortex onto the both supports, and they're both dead just like that. And now, pulverized, but the Eon Disc procs is BZN trying to find some distance. Doraccio Company trying to focus down Uragi again. There's the onside. There's the first death.
Do they have more stuns?
We'll see. Spawns back in. Frostbite is dispelled instantly. Celery getting
Gago, patay ito si Boom.
with another big stun. The Yule's keeping BZM alive, but this might be the death of him.
Ano mga de?
And the swashbuckle, he's alive. But there's the onside again. Are you serious? BZM still lives. That would have been an enormous kill just based on not having buyback anymore.
Oh my god. I can't
OG dodging a bullet. My goodness.
Such a great initiation from Gaming Gladiators, all set up by that offensive observer ward that they had in the base. See both supports, and they get a great jump with the AoE Vortex into follow-up Primal Beast Onslaught, but still in the end, I don't know if the backtrack gods were helping out the Void there as well to delay this maybe a little bit further, but look at that beautiful engage there. Easy double kill there. And now, keep in mind, Ace, I don't know if you mentioned this, he has the Pulverized talent. Did you mention that? The 25 talent? So the Primal Beast has two amazing choices to make. At 25, you either double the duration of Pulverize, or you make it Pierce BKB.
Yeah. Gonna use his shard, but they're gonna try to focus down Amar. The open wounds is ripping him a new one, but there's the Chronosphere. Oh, he gets popped outside. Boom will live. Unbelievable. And we'll see if they're able to turn this around as Uragi. Oh my god, he time walks everything off. But BZM is taking the brunt of the damage, uses his shield crash, trying to get back to his base, but the onslaught finally finishes off the Pangolier. Doraccio barely alive as the Uproar doing a good amount of damage, but Ace will finally fall. So technically a 1-for-1 exchange. Tofu able to TP out.
Sagal. Grabe, puro sa kanyang mistake simula kanina. Oo nga eh.
1 millimeter getting bounced out of the chrono, 1 millisecond on the TP, everything just tooth and nail. I thought OG might have lost the game there, honestly. Yeah. Like when he gets bumped out of that chrono, I think Void was on 5% health and got time walk off. Like so close to both sides. You're gonna see everything here. So that Rolling Thunder is now gonna be on top of Boom. There's the chrono.
My
so now he gets bounced out, gets force staffed, and now Uragi is gonna drop super low, backtracking some of the damage.
Yeah, just some.
In and out.
Yung mga chrono niya. Hindi lalabas yan, hindi lalabas.
Was he just out solo pushing mid?
Yes. Malas talaga. Hindi mo alam kung kailan siya magko-chrono. Isipin nyo na mga pro player na yan talaga nagkakaroon pa talaga ng mali. Pero ilang beses kinroll.
So we'll take the top set of racks and then can waddle their way back down to bottom to get megas. But still so much time without these heroes. But here's the initiation. Global silence, but they're instant BKB. But then now the bash applied to Uragi. Now trying to focus down Doraccio. He's going to have to time walk out, and instead they're going to lose Taiga. Does have buyback though. Yeah. That's 2 sets. Now to the bottom lane they go. Still 30 seconds until their Primal Beast is back.
I actually think OG had to try for that. If they don't do it, they lose the lane for free and the play just happens bottom instead. Now they have a buyback play, potentially, with a 10-second cooldown on Chrono. This is defendable because Ace is dead and Pango is spawning. Gaming actually needs to be a little bit cautious here, but they don't know necessarily what could be coming their way right now. Nice rage reaction on the ice path, though. Bash.
Gets bashed inside, though.
Chrono is available. Not gonna try it.
Yeah, reverse time walk back out. And you can see Amar obviously dead for 30 seconds. He's the one holding cheese as well, so that's an important item potentially.
Na-push back na.
Still sidelined.
2 or 3 times na.
Before until Amar is back. But they were not
Yun
able
nga
to get
eh,
their
di ba?
megas.
Tapos yung iba nagagalit
And
pag
OG still have
mga...
everything at the disposal once Amar is back online.
Si Amar. Si Amar nga namatay sa base eh. Nakakaloka.
No way would I have imagined that we were getting this. What a treat, though. It feels like every team fight has some sort of detail that means everything.
Yeah, it's something very small, technically speaking, right?
Like one key backtrack, or one hero getting pushed a little, or one perfect force stab.
Tayo na naman siya. Ay, buti na buhay.
Let's go!
Not enough to keep Boom in place. Big rolling thunder from BZM as the Viper strike now to Duraccio. He's gonna get
Yun, maganda.
He also has buyback though, but
Let's go!
kill on Ace, who does not.
And he used Refresher too before he died, which I guess actually doesn't matter because he doesn't buyback. Thank you, Shane.
Great analysis as always from Simon. As now OG, I don't know who's in the driver's seat.
I feel like have they kept track of this buyback timing on Primal? Like it's a minute away. Sometimes you don't have the exact timing. It's like on a hunch, right? If you know for a fact it's not up, this is where you could push for barracks. And again, they do kill Uragi, but this time in his own base with the polarizers are absurd. Imagine if Ace gets level 30. Yeah, so he has the other talent too, because that is just absolutely dirty. 100% pulverized duration that pierces magic immunity makes it effectively a 6-second single target stun. Yeah, that does
Not too bad.
Minimize mo lang yun.
It's a perfect easy BKB duration, right? You pump BKB blanket 6-seconder into a 6-second pulverize. Couldn't be better. Like, here are not going to capitalize on this at all. Yeah, they can't. They will have their eyes on potentially Roche, which we know it's going to be a while. The potential spawn time is already up, so it could spawn at any second, and neither team is scouting it right now. Obviously, OG will buy a Ruckus there as soon as Taiga is up. They don't know yet. And I do think the crucial thing here is, sure, OG defend their base, and it is a pretty good team fight win, but I think Void's buyback is worth more than 5k net worth. Like, I think if Gaming Gladiators lead was 10k before that fight and it dropped to 5, I still think that would consider a win for the time being, because they have clearly made a victory now.
Yes.
Killing Void ends the game.
I mean, look at the buyback situation right now.
Yep.
All 5 of OG have none.
Yep.
All 5 for Gaming have theirs.
You just need any sort of good core kill, especially faceless, and I feel like you've got this one locked down. You also have a 9-second BKB on Boom. He finally buys it and has buyback.
So, very late game BKB.
He got it minute 53. Okay, Taiga.
Is that going to be the kill on the support? But there's a global silence. Boom comes in with a beautiful electric vortex onto 2. The support is already dead, and Amar extremely low on top. But he pops the cheese. Now he's taking the right clicks from Duraccio. But there's the Chronosphere with the macro pyre on top. Is it enough to take out Duraccio? It's going to be close to get silence, so cannot rage. Cannot use open rules, but he dies and buys back 3 dead for OG. No buybacks available, and that might do it. Gaiman will have a free path to this next Roche.
Takbo na, be.
Potentially for the game.
Be.
Indeed. 4 dead on the sidelines. Misha is done.
May Roshan pa.
The buybacks, they don't do this. So,
GG pa
Gladiators
sila.
don't actually know the game state here. This is 100% over if they just push.
It's always very...
Absolutely no way Void could defend this.
Maybe they're just going for stats. They need Roche kills, Cinderin, to get their quest completed.
Yep.
Maybe that's a bonus that Gaiman Gladiators, the org, will give them. The more Roche kills.
We promised you would bring you the...
Oh, we get to see Life Stealer activate.
Oh. Naku po, Uragi.
Sheepstick is there. Please use Infest on top of him. For the love of God, no, we won't. But it's a full team wipe, and GG is called as GG. Gaming Gladiators extended to game number 3. What a game. I was not expecting them to come back, but that was it the second Roche?
Daming mali ni Uragi.
The one they snuck,
yeah, they
basically won the game.
What an insane comeback this was, honestly. Like, that's got to be such a huge morale boost, too. You know that you were losing that game, and you still clawed your way back into it. You made the right moves. I think, obviously, Boom on the Storm really pushed the hero to its limits. It wasn't always perfect, but most of the time, really...
Ang dami niyang fail.
Together with Duraccio on the Lifestealer. Man, Ace Talk about a carry performance on Primal Beast. He had 2 or 3 team fights where 2 of his cores are dead.
Yeah.
And he finds trades, keeps himself in the game. The ultra kill he got top propels him to get that refresher that has such a huge impact later in the game. Everything just came together. I'm super
They were
impressed.
able to take, I mean, those kills on Yuragi throughout the game.
Yeah.
Where he is
He's
stun
gotta be
locked.
kicking himself.
He literally has no time to even react. That is just great play from Game and great comeback for them. Let's go to the panel so they can wrap up game 2 and we can get to game 3 very soon.
Thank you very much. The curse has been broken. Gaming Gladiators are the first to prove that you can tie on the main stage of the International 11. We're going
Ayun, this dapat ba party mabers agad ka sa Tani? Hindi, feeling ko nga Lincoln din eh. Kasi ilang beses siya nahuli, di ba? Sobrang lakas ng ang yaman niya. Tapos, ilang beses siya nahuli.
It did look that way. The Viper lane, Amar did very well versus Lifestealer. We were talking about it backstage. The fact that with the
ilang beses siya nahuli sa baba.
Like you can't really just rage off the Viper debuffs, but Game and Gladiators, they won through sheer outplay in the team fights in the late game. Ace got an ultra kill on his own.
What's happened?
It's about to happen.
He was alone.
It's so good.
Sayang. Isa pa.
I have seen how this war ends.
Nagagamit si Boy. Yung na-chrono si Ama, yun yung...
For the main event. Somehow we fit. Feel my race.
Ganda ng ano.
The enemy's middle tower has been destroyed.
Ang gago. Hindi ka makakaalis.
Who you with?
Mistakes over mistakes. Naku po. Sayang. one pa. Wala na ba yung ano? Hindi pa pag nakatalito. Hindi kaya. First game trip pa.
The enemy attacks your middle tower.
I step from the void's embrace.
And mortals underestimate this power. Yes, Mary Jason. No efforts. Let none pass. Before trial strike. Have no time here. The natural court will always watch over me. No longer hidden. I refocus. I know the way.
Dito na nakakahatak.
In preparation. Either step. I gave them first
Hindi na
blood.
nakakahatak.
First blood. Thanks and have fun. Could it be a novel? Impossible. Welcome respite. A dominating performance. This path leads amongst my brothers, where they have long wished I'd go.
She is the one.
Are you serious?
I playing with you? She is the one. Okay guys, game na.
TI at this point of the meta, teams have figured out the best way to play against Undying. It's not a hero that catches anyone off guard.
Yeah, and something that Janken said, it feels like teams did figure out how to play against Shadowfiend. Because you did mention Bloodseeker, there was also Monkey King that built into Basher. Heroes that, like, Slugger was extremely, because he doesn't buy Basher, but he's the one buying a BKB, so not affected by Requiem and then getting on top of him, so that's a good solution.
Even the snipers looked good against which Gaiman took out. It's like a different approach rather than like sitting on the SF and making it so that he can't just sit there.
Message ko yan, pag nanalo sila.
You're standing at a distance, SF can't hit you, and then you're also headshotting him, so he can't just sit there and trade with you without a BKB, even if he does get on top of you.
It did look pretty good. It's really cool. I think, or I hope at least, we're going to see a lot more of the sniper and stun combination, because it looked like the better version of the SF plus stun combination. But Sniper as a standalone hero with potentially a Naga support and a Jakiro support to back him up isn't as strong as the Sniper we did see beat a Shadowfiend.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. But the nice thing about Naga Jakiro is the flexibility of the two and the fact that it just makes team fights so easy. Like I feel like between these two heroes you have tower push, you have magic damage, you have heroes that can stack camps, like lane shove. It makes the rest of your draft, you can just kind of respond to whatever Game and Gladiators picks. And they do go back for the Invoker.
I like that they did this. Honestly, it worked out so well.
First game.
What they have to do to give this Invoker the best game possible, though, would be to pick a kill-heavy side lane, whether it be the safe lane with Monkey King again with the Jakiro, or have it be an offlaner that has some kind of stun or disable that can set up for the stun strikes. That is a condition that I do believe they have to meet, because that was the reason why Invoker was able to kind of outlive and outsustain this Gladiator slide.
Gaming Gladiator.
Go for the Beastmaster and the Undying and the SF. You know they're going to play for these early Russians. You know they're going to play for these early pushes.
Yeah, they need a hero in the mid lane that can deal with the Invoker. I wouldn't mind seeing something like Leshrac that will give them like strong mid-game momentum with the Undying Shadowfiend with his level 15 talent, and also Beastmaster with his aura. Oh. Okay, they're saving their pick for last. Mid one.
Man, they really like running this position 5 as a 4 thing. Like every game it's been...
Hey, it's something that Tundra did as well, because they're running position 5 Mirana.
But they are running 4s as 5. I feel like Gaming Gladiators is running 5s as 4.
No, you're right. The support roles have just homogenized.
Yeah, they have. They really have.
In this tournament.
Disruptor kind of owns here, in my opinion. I was wondering if they were just going to go back for the Silencer their last 2 games, but I like the idea of Disruptor with a vision here, right? You have the Hawks from Beastmaster, so it already sets up for the Glimpse. You have the AoE silence and damage on the Naga Legions. It stops her from casting songs, so if she is going to be played as a carry here, her effectiveness is reduced. Also, if this Naga is split pushing or scouting with her illusions, Glimpse insta-kills them. So if they send an illusion uphill into Gladiator's triangle, Disruptor can just get rid of it just like that.
Yeah. This Disruptor pick, why they decided to go with position 4/5 is they did not want to reveal anything, because they want to still have an option to put this Shadowfiend on a mid lane. They do not want to reveal the matchups. And also vision game from Gaming Gladiators. It's going to be through the roof this time around. You're going to have Tombstone for the Glimpses back, Hawk as well, summons from the Beastmaster. All this attack speed will increase the damage output from the Shadow Fiend as well, and you're going to be able to set things up with the Glimpse.
Okay, thank God. I was going to say that OG needs some Blink Stun hero because this SF is still unaddressed and it was in the first phase, right?
Yeah.
And so you have this Blink Stun hero in Sand King that can get on top of this SF early on. Sand King has a very early Blink timing that his teammates can play around. But also the Sandstorm is going to be really nice later on with the Blind versus Shadow Fiend if the game does go very late. And of course you have the setup for Sunstrikes, which we talked about. It's really important that you have that if you're going to run this Exort Invoker, because that's the assumption that I'm going to make.
Yeah. Also, the reason why Taiga did pick up an early point in Snare, because he was playing with the Invoker. It's also a great setup. Anything that can enable your Invoker to have a good game is going to have a lot of value.
And I think OG also, from what we've seen from them in the group stage and main stage, is they like Sand King against summons. He's like one of the best heroes, or if not the best, for just planting in a lane. And a hero like Beastmaster that likes to kind of snowball the map, you can delay that for like sometimes 4 to 5 minutes, which is enough to, you know, stop the hero from just like rampaging you in the early game. But we did see Tundra punish OG doing that exact thing against the Death Ball, against the Zoo, and yeah, if Gaiman can test Amar's stacks on the Sand King and kill him when he shows up in that lane, we could see a repeat potentially of that Tundra game that we saw.
But I feel like it would take a while for Gladiators to contest the OG stacks because their heroes aren't necessarily the ones who are most quick to move into the triangle, right? Beastmaster parks himself on the offlane for a while and tries to just, you know, get his creep, farm up, try to get his timings and take a tower, maybe pressure the second before he wants to shift to another side of the map. So I do feel as far as stacks are concerned, Sand King should be relatively safe this game in stacking and taking them.
And a hero that could do that would be Storm, but it doesn't look so good this game because they have the instant cold snap, instant stun from Sand King, and then with lots of follow-up. Like in the previous game where we liked the Storm because all the stuns were kind of projected. Like, yeah, they did have Disable, but there's nothing to instantly get him. That's different here.
They could go for maybe... I was going to say Leshrac, because that is something that can push down really quickly, and the BKB plus Blink on Leshrac.
Just double down on the Death Ball.
Yeah, just do it. But the issue is if Leshrac does have a difficult game or gets ganked a couple of times, they do have a means to kill him early on, right? And you can defend towers quite easily with the Sand King timing and with Jakira's abilities. These two heroes like to hold on to towers for as long as they can. And then another thing they could be looking at is potentially the Ember, but there is a lot of lockdown.
They have a full minute to think about what they want to pick up last here for Gaming Gladiators. And they can still shift the Shadow Fiend around if they really want to, although they traditionally like it on the range.
Tango is still in the pool.
It is.
Yeah, I could see them going for that just because it's kind of in the middle. It can be pretty active as decent stuns. It doesn't exactly get countered by the instant stuns like the Spirits because you can get that roll-up ability and instantly dodge out things.
I like the sound of that. I think they're debating it though because if they do go for this Pango, they're all in on their 5-1 on their Death Ball and they won't be able to outscale OG. And we talked about how Gladiators were able to win Game 2 just by outscaling and holding on for longer.
Ooh, this is a good one. We kind of forgot about the hero.
Yeah, we mentioned it during the pre-show a while ago, but that was as a carry, because they are one of the teams that plays it as a carry.
They could still do it. I mean, they could technically do that and run the Kunkka versus whatever the Sand King lane is, depending on the last pick.
This did solve the problem with Naga potentially being a carry. You know what time it is? It's an elimination game. It's time to pick Troll. It always looks good. Like, look at that. You know, good lane. You have attack speed for Tombstone that you build into Basher later on. You connect onto Shadow Fiend. Are you convinced, Jenkins?
I'm not convinced.
Are you convinced? I'm not
I think it's something you're trying to convince yourself.
I hope it's not troll. But yeah, just to talk about the Kunk a little bit.
Ubus din ko kumabe, ako na lang kakagat.
As Lacoste mentioned, it can deal with a Naga if it is a carry Naga, but also we were talking about the gladiators.
Be ako na lang kakagat ng koko mo.
To stop this Sand King timing, they need to be able to go into his triangle early. And Kunk is actually one of the better heroes to do it. Not only does his mid lane go stably, but he can walk and take the stacks himself, which the other heroes in this team would have needed a while to do.
Meron.
It will be the Naga carry and Mirana on a position 4.
Wait. What? Okay, sorry. I thought I saw Taiga picking the... No, yeah, it's a Naga carry. So they're going to have the Sand King Mirana combo in the side lane. It's incredibly strong. Naga versus Beast means that he's going to have to go for an Axis build, which is fine. Beastmasters do like to do that these days, although it's about 50-50 now. Naga can be left...
Nawala stream ng Kuya Nick. Oo, nawalan sila ng net. Nawalan din ako eh.
Yeah, that's a...
Tapos biglang bumalik.
They first pick their carry.
It's just an extra stun as well. It chains with the Ice Path, chains with the Sand King, but also it can arrow the Beastmaster creep that he dominates early on.
It can indeed. We're going to find out though. First third game. A lot of excitement here. Elimination on the line and some extra insight thoughts.
Hindi, dito sila sa amin JD eh. Dito rin sila sa amin sa loob.
Thank you so much, Shaver. Yes, I am here with Immortal Faith yet again, sir. You have survived to get to our first BO3 Game 3. Congratulations there. In Game 1, we had Naga Siren coming out from OG. It wasn't that successful. Game 2, of course, we saw that fantastic storm. What changed? Are you guys ready to take out that Naga this time?
We're ready. They picked the last pick Mirana support. I think that's not the best for them. Also, we are just gonna fully out-tempo them. We are gonna win this game in 30 minutes.
Oh my, he calls it! We Babe Ruthed it out there, sir! I'd ask you another question, but that's hype as hell. We wish you the best of luck, Mr. Faith, and we will throw it over to our casters. Let's get ready for game number 3.
Thank you very much, Sir Action Slash and Immortal Faith with the very bold prediction. I was not expecting that. Usually those interviews are one-word answers that sometimes don't even answer the question that was asked. I don't know if that's a common thing these days, but it seems to be the case at this TI at the very least. But very bold, under 30 minutes.
I mean, that's about half my interactions with Slacks, though. He asks me a question, and I don't really answer it because the question was bad. But that was actually a pretty good question, so I'm proud of him. I think he's improved a lot. 30 minutes? Yeah. I like the confidence, obviously. I think if they'd interviewed Chu, he would have been like, yeah, we'll probably find a way to win, I suppose. But Immortal Faith
Hula na ulit.
Will
there be teleport castle best time by 10 minutes?
I would be very impressed if Gaming Gladiators win this game in 30 minutes. But the thing I really like about hearing
very
is that
nice
I
total
think that is
physical
what they
damage.
should be setting out to do.
Ano ba si Naga?
I kind of agree with him when he says that they're going to outpace OG. I think there's portions of this
Time
game
of
that
first
should be happening.
declaration.
And then it's about whether OG can weather the storm and buy themselves enough time. Also worth noting, Amar playing... In this tournament, he's been playing Sand King a couple of times. This is not a traditional Amar hero in the sense that it's not a lane dominator.
Bakit
It's
daw
not a
makapag-submit
hero that
dito?
scales particularly well with farm compared to a lot of other picks he has. So maybe this time around, if things do slow down a little bit, it's not as much in the bag for OG later either. Because I think carry Naga in this game is not automatically going to win this late against a mid Kunkka and a safe lane Shadow Fiend. There's plenty of AoE damage, have solutions. So it's going to be really interesting to see. And obviously, or not obviously, but honestly, more important than the strategies, how do OG bounce back from that last game? Like, we can't overlook the fact that that was a game they feel like they should have won. Do they have that mental reset backstage?
They already have a level 1 battle here. Duraccio gets off a couple nice raises, but won't result in a kill. As in terms of the actual bounty distribution, I believe it's going to be split here. Sport's still to come. Yep. But yeah, we're going to see the Invoker again come out from OG, which was obviously extremely successful in that game number 1. But and they have the Naga again, but this time it is in the carry.
Hello, Jeko! Ng rare item. Anong item?
Stem the bleeding, which is the laning stage for them.
I mean, there's plenty of combination plays for OG, right? You have Sand King Mirana, as you pointed out, you have Sunstrike. If they can make a couple of successful early skirmishes like they did in game number 1, I definitely think their mid game can be really strong. But I would say their lineup is more dependent on being able to do that. Like, let's say nothing happens for 10 or 15 minutes.
Maga na kayo natapos nung naririnig ko kayo eh. Puto, naalim po nga tan ako, alas 6 ba yun?
With the Shadow Thief and Kunkka hitting this like really strong mid.
Wala na agad mana si Toko.
This is what they were so good at earlier in the year, so you would imagine that they have the confidence to pull it off.
Kagod ako nagsusukat. Hindi ako nagbebetang. Tamang nood lang sa mga ano.
It's kind of feels like a bit of a death ball. But they try to get these towers relatively early, but we'll see the pace that they're being for them. Mid lane is Boom on the Kunkka this time around versus...
Walang live kill. Inaayos na nila Gerald. Nawalan sila ng net eh. Hindi ko alam kung bakit. Isang ano lang naman kami. Doon sila. Ito sa akin. Pero magkaiba kaming connection. Magkaiba kaming account.
It's a hero that generally does very well against Invoker, but I think Classic Sword has a much stronger laning phase against it than Class Wax does, so I would imagine this lane probably pretty much breaks even. That was one of the parts why they picked it. I think the other one was to cover their bases in case Naga goes carry, right? We had the same situation as the game number 1.
Look mo yung ano.
So you want to make sure you don't expose
Sino yan?
yourself. Having Shadow Fiend having to deal with Naga on
Hindi mo yan sila. Sa routine to gagi na ba si Ino? Ay, tulog pala. Wow, tulog. Maingay yan pag gising.
Help us against the potential carry Naga, and I think they made a good choice. Also, the whole pacing thing, right? I just think it's nice to look
Saan ba kayo natulog?
Uwot ka doon kasi na.
Saan dito?
Nagsigaw sa init.
Ba't walang aircon?
Meron. Naglalaban yung init.
And this is game number 3, elimination match here. Winner will play the winner of the next series to come. How many OG fans we have in the house today? Okay, not bad. What about Game and Gladiators?
Dun sa, hiniga ni Mabis. Ayun. Sa kanan, na drawer na maliit.
But good to see. Nice distribution either way.
Or maybe they're just louder.
Yeah, very, very true. The vocal minority, some would say. But
I'm sure they made some fans in that last game. That was a nice comeback.
I mean, you talked about the momentum potentially coming out from something like that. I mean, OG, it feels like they don't get affected by it as much as other teams that are, they're pretty young, right? But I think that storyline kind of them being affected by stuff like this kind of ended after the last major. Celery making some heavy damage. There's the lead from Taiga. Right click to come, and he'll end up getting first blood as a result of it. As Taiga just continuing the roam on this.
Nagbet ka sa EG.
Yeah, you just can't underestimate the sunstrike factor.
Talo nga. Nice one.
That was very greedy. Did you not expect them?
Tama, alas 6 naririnig ko kayo eh. Sabi ko nga, sarado yung pinto, papasok yan dito.
He lost a full wave. I mean, sure, Celery gets some experience here, but
sobrang dami ba ininom niyo?
that is just not a good start. You know, Shadow Fiend did not pick any day against same people. Good start. Just not dying.
Double block?
Sunstrike is that X factor. You just can't deny that is the kind
Ngayon lang kayo ulit nakainom ng sagad.
OG are making use of it.
Yeah. I mean, that's how Arrow is balanced, right? It's hard to hit, but if you have the setup stun, it's pretty scary. Arrow's not too bad on the last path as well.
You want an arrow that you don't have to hit and play gyro.
First shot na kumuti ko.
It's a lot weaker
Hindi ka
than
naglalabas.
arrow.
That's right. It's not as exciting, some would say.
Again, top. Yeah, Viracho.
Wow, hindi na naman tumama yung sunstrike. Inaantay na lang kasi yung
I
stun.
think Taiga didn't see the line for the arrow, so he didn't go for it. He went for the leap star storm because he felt like he was going to hit a creep. Viracho counting his lucky stars there. If there's a arrow connection, he's dead again. Glimpse. And ace save.
Ay, no ko wala sa, coffee shop. Wala sa likod, kumain sa
And look at their inventory as well. Ace with the triple mango, Basilius, and Tofu with the triple
kain kayo
mango.
dun tangi.
Really? I mean, Ace non-stop spamming. He does.
Last game.
Kaya na si
Spamming,
Mabis.
spamming. Uragi running
Sige mo ginagawa kay
a
Mabis.
couple of tangos left for Misha to pull. But he has to be careful himself that he doesn't get too exposed here. He would almost die to this thunder.
Kumain kayo dun, Billy.
Fairy will have to do the thing. The fairy will be safe. Tango running.
Toku's successfully dealing tons of damage as the support disruptor.
Nice!
Ace's CS line here. 13 to 9.
Dati, unang dating yan. Takot din si Ice eh. Ngayon si Ice na yung out.
That's gonna help him.
Ice! Ice!
Gonna give you a Rocky bit of breathing room. He's
Ice!
He's 19 and 0.
Paluin mo si Ice.
34 and 13. So 13
Palo, wag
to
mo
9
simpasan.
on that East. Definitely has a big laning or level advantage until that Sunstrike kill comes in.
And mid lane before that point, I mean basically
Ice.
the CS between
Bad
BZM and
dogs,
Boom.
ah.
And we'll see if BZM kind of changes the build at all, or if he's just going to go the exact same thing. Obviously the minus not too big of a surprise. And then after that we'll see.
I think he'll do the same again.
This does not feel like a minus Sand King game, though. I will make that prediction ahead of time.
Pretty good call.
Tapos naman nun yun, Sun.
Maybe to get that. Especially he actually farms relatively fast once you get the sandstorms up.
Yeah, don't you worry. Amar's going to max Sandstorm. Okay, there's a limit. He's not maxing Strike. No way.
In terms of CS, or net worth overall, kind of averaging out right now, but like you said, Ace is kind of tipping the balance a bit in two outliers right now.
With a very fast helmet that's on this bottom lane actually becomes a lot scarier for OG. I don't think they can really afford to sit their Mirana down here to do cleanup duty. Like, if you swap Mirana and Jakiro, I think your top lane is very susceptible all of a sudden. Jakiro does not perform nearly as well as Mirana against Undying Shadow Fiend, so that lane swap would be too good, I think. And snare bottom.
It's going to be shared. It looks
Kasi nga katulad ng pangalan ni Chase. Yeah.
still these axes. Glimpse now.
Mabis.
He's getting very lucky.
Antay ka na mag-focus ng pinto.
Used to dissuade GG from continuing on, but Taiga has TP'd in.
Makakaroon ka na ng tao.
Not good enough to find a kill.
Ba't pawis ka, Jace, sa kagaling?
So, despite the TP coming out from OG,
Nandiyan mga friend mo?
Gladiators are the ones that get the kill.
I'm very curious.
Mabis!
Amar in the sandstorm. They have the
Nalabas ka na
vision. Has to
naman.
burrow to the high ground. Like he's fine.
With this token skill, he's still
Patay, go.
In this bottom lane, disaster for OG.
This is just such a high pressure lane.
May pagkain dun ata, baby.
Thunderstrike spam. Twim's now dealing damage. I think perhaps the mindset that people have when they see Disruptor picks up that like, this is a position 5 is a little bit outdated. Because now that Twim steals damage, I think he offers a lot more offensive dual lanes. It's really, it's not insignificant. If you're ahead of the lane, you're most enemies away, and you get the extra 150, 200 damage that you didn't use to. And also keep in mind, this hero arm. Scales pretty well. He has an insane
Lalabas siya.
Talo agad.
Ayun o sila.
Hoy! Sino mo?
Uy, huwag mo nila! Huwag mo nila!
Sino?
Bakit tayo magpala? Bakit tayo
Sino? Ano, talo?
Ito mukha ko.
Sino sa nagkakapusta ngayon?
In terms of the mid lane, obviously we've seen the Kunkka participate already.
Sakto lang. Wala, kasi wala pa.
Gaya.
Once he gets the boost,
Gogi, panalo sa...
Ano yung pera ko na lang?
to get a little bit more involved with the team.
Sige.
That was a lot of neutral.
Gaya.
That sound was
Gagi, panalo dapat game to eh.
Back.
Ang daming fail ni Yoragi sa Chrono. Gago, hinarang lang. Boom.
Oy, tumag. Okay ka lang?
It's the second time this game.
Mabis!
Walang nga.
Like Shadow Fiend has he's completely alone in that.
Narinig ko kayo mga 6, 5 deaths, mga ganun, 4 to 6.
Had that vision and information.
Nag-aabang lang ako. Oo. Nakapag-away nga yan nakaraan, iwanan siya ng kuko. Naiwan siguro yung kuko niya sa kaaway niya, kaya napilay siya. Dito nagnanaw niya. Kaya lang, isang linggo hindi nakalabas eh. Pero ngayon okay na. Ang bilis sila maghilom.
Not the highest percentage. The static storm hit.
Gusto ko naman kayo. Kasi di pang
Yung kalay pa ko yun.
Ano ba? Saan charger ako?
Ayun yung jowa mo, si Trixie. Ay, inunahan ka ni Eto, Max. Nakita ko pumasok yun.
Saan?
Doon sa loob.
Uy, ako muna. Puta ka na yun. Pwede ako muna.
Very positive team, though, I will say. I like game pretty even, though. Let's talk about the eventual Roche. I love these conversations. There's two aspects to it. One is Roche and how fast. The other is team fighting.
Yeah, the fastest kill will go to Gaming Gladiator.
Kaya ako na, kanina pa ako.
Ito, Max, tinanggal niya.
Doon, kaya may target sila doon. Hindi ka nag-charge doon, nakagawa ko ng 63 na ka eh.
Together with
Yung charge doon.
Tombstone and everything.
Ito, dead ba to? Siya yung kailangan i-charge
But the team fighter is more tricky to call, right? Both teams have so much to work with.
Ang lamig doon, nagiging ang lamig doon eh. Ginawa ko kortina. Nakakortina doon ang pagpasok ko. Yung bumo init. Ang yung init. Naluipit ako dito.
Something we haven't really talked about in general.
Puta, pinagtatanggal niyo yung kortina ng puta. Wala pa kami ng kortina. Kinumot niya yung kortina. Walang kortina puta. Pag-isip ko na, bumubot sa kanya. Ala ko, tulog ko na kaya ako si Bono. Pag-isip ko na, buto na si Bono.
Ano, sa'yo pa? Ba't kayo iniwan ni Kim?
Parang di na maganda eh. Magaling din doon.
Ano yung umuwi ng, Laguna?
Walis ka?
Patay si Gio.
Pag-isip ako, wala na eh.
Gago namatay si si Yoragi.
Ay, di ba ito pala tapos yan?
Hindi, natalo pa sila game 2.
Game 3 na yan?
Opo. Laglagan to eh. Ano naman yan? Naga naman yun. Naga. Mga kapal naman.
Matagal yan mag-game mo. Kumain na kayo pa. Oo nga, maganda. Hindi namin kayo. Mga bako.
Napatay naman na eh. Carry SF ko eh.
Nagpapay ko. Ako mag-air talaga na. Sa kabila talaga siya.
Oo.
Ano oras walis na yun eh?
Hindi nakakalik sa eh. Sa ganun distracto.
Dati pwede. Ito, kay tayo hindi na ulit na simple.
Tapos si Pander, iba na yung aga name. Isa na lang yung nakakontrol mo. Ay, isa na lang. Si Win, yung libre eh. Tapos hindi mawawala hanggat di namamatay. Kaya pala nakatawa ka ha.
Because a lot of the time this hero
Short plan, para tayo lakad. May boost na. Sila please. Oo.
that time he wasn't
3-0 kayo ko.
launched up damage and his team
M4 na naman blacklist. Dito mawawa yung pana.
Bilaan sana eh. Tinisig ko yan. Labasag-basagad lang ulit tumatapat.
Sila ulit mag-M4.
Nagpahin na sila guys. Bukas siguro.
But they do see this juicy stack and be a little bit of a slow one, but we have the glimpse top lane.
Patay gago.
And the roar expended. Looks like BZN is
Grabe na naman pera ng blacklist.
Amar, TP top. Might find the
Alam nga si Wise eh.
but see Celery.
Really good ang puta. Pamatay niya yun. Nag-game again? Oo. Alam game. Last game niya, game 3. Yung si Benny, naka-Bruno. Bugbog. Really good ang puta. Ay, game 2 pala. Ito.
Itong ulo.
Kung tumitsuro ng toro yun lang.
Depende yung gaga. Style yan.
Skin lang ba yan?
Pwede mo palit.
The way it works is that ball lightning. No.
Hindi sa tayong bukal na ito.
Commit kayo.
Oo. Kaya naman tayo real good team.
Ano lang kayo naman eh, yung boss, sa PITX, sa person, pwede kayo mag-draft. Madali lang, PITX.
Dahil gusto ko namin mag-boss ako na ban, tas hanggang kumaw. Meron ba dyan? Sa PITX daw. O kaya Papi Polo.
Kubaw?
O kaya kahit Edsa.
EDSA. May mga ban dyan, hindi ko alam po sa mga ban eh. May mga ban dyan sa, Robinson. Hindi ko alam po sa. Pero yung bus kasi PATX.
Ako PITX plus to kubaw.
Ako ba? Meron, oo. Taray, mag-ano kayo? Commute kayo.
Wala na trabaho eh. Kailangan naman din ako. Tuloy na buhay.
Buti pa sa kayo ka.
Uy.
Trixie.
Hindi
mo, huwag mo mo, huwag mo lang.
Doon, silas ko sa'yo tumakot.
Ito nga walang boses ha.
A couple of those, but a lot of these are going the way of Amar.
Tumalon.
Patay ka gagi.
Tumalon mo ako dun. Tumalon na puta ka lang din.
Pero nakuha naman lights na. Si Amar naiiyak na kanina eh. Dalawang...
Ano lang mali?
Hindi. Pang ino mo Roshan, easy.
Mayroong contest yun eh.
Sino champion ng M1?
This is where their lineup really comes online, and you gotta say,
Brain
Moral
M1.
Faith,
M2 Brain. M1 Impos Indian Gold. M3 Blacklist.
Gago na X-Mark ba?
Carry ano?
SF. Mid-call ka. Oo, malakas niya. Malakas kasi siya sa pag-solo eh, kasi yung race niya binago. May slow pa nga pag tinamahan kang tatlo, para ka nang tulay. So, ang layo pa nang hahabulin ni Naga.
Pero kahit win.
Oo, mga ganun.
Mamamatay na yan. Sige.
Dealing damage now doesn't matter anymore. That's true.
Buti na may solo eh, no?
He just wants to get the
Origin.
Wait, did you get an
Tang ina nyo, ang dami niyong ininom eh, para kayong parang wala ng buka.
Wala na eh. Ano na yun eh.
Amar has been in
Ano yan, magbabalik ka na sa messenger.
the last 10 minutes, it feels like.
Yung pagdala ng mga sulat-sulat.
Hindi ako uwi. Ang sulat. Diaryo.
Kala ko may
diaryo.
Si Mabis
Bakit bote?
The team fight is extremely terrifying to take into Tombstone, Hawk Vision, Palm of the Overlord Dragon. It's just too much, right? I don't know. I don't think they can really solve it. The question is, what do you do about this one? He gave them maybe too much of a buffer. Maybe should have 20 minutes. There's the X.
Tier 3 already
Kailangan lang ito ng babae.
connects, but they're just doing the damage to the top.
Pero kasi pag lumabas, putang pusa ka yan eh. Yung mga pusa kasi sa labas, maliliit lang. Pang ina, isang oras namin hinanap, nasa building lang parang. Yung gabi, pinaghanap namin, punta kang barangay, punta ka sa labas.
Ang bilis.
Ako mag-podcast lang sa video.
Hindi, may nabol siya may kaaway.
Tanggalan mo na ng betlog to.
Oo, para tanggalan ko na yun. Para matigil. Yung kapon, para hindi sila nag- Hindi, para hindi mag-ingay, hindi lumabas.
Label kasi pag lumalabas.
Gogo, hirap na.
Ikaw tumakapag mo na rin.
Amar's thinking the same thing. Takes out the next wave.
Eh ano ka dun? Ano hito? Ba't ikaw pa yung ginatanggal? Wala ka nung silbi.
Super talented.
Pang una mo may mga tulad naka-chinelas tapos nakasuot ka lang ng pang-ligo.
Isa lang. Tapos kasi dapat chinelas ka daw.
Hindi yung mga suotan niya, parang ka lang matutulog lang. Buti okay lang sa ano yun. Bagay content lang. No?
Dapat.
That's good.
Kada entrance, iba-ibang form. Para cosplayer na. Cosplayer.
Cosplayer ang babaho niyan. Gago nga matay! Ay, may ages pa pala.
Gonna get Solrin back to a respectable amount of HP.
Hindi, ano, inilisan. Yes, yun ang dying.
And in the meantime, as the souls the bot tier 2 towers invoker, possibilities.
Pang.
Ano yun yung makakuha ng e-chest upgrade dun daw?
Oo.
Was it 17 and 4?
Nakakailang shot na nga ako eh.
Ha? Offlane. Yung di, yung mga maraming mga summon. Astig yung Twitch ngayon eh. Pwede mo i-click yung mga ano. Ayan o. No. Pwede mo i-click. Oh, nakita mo. Pag nanonood ka lang. I-click mo yan o. Pwede. Tapos may preview.
Baka alam din sa Dota nanonood, no?
Oo. Lahat ng mga nanonood, pwede ka na mag-click ngayon.
Ay. Bakit dati nag-scout yan? Yung bago pa lang.
Oo. Takot si Ice. Pero nung kinulong namin isang beses dyan, nagsalpukan talaga sila. Walang tigil. Kinagat ni Ice dito si Mami, sabi natin. Tapos puro balay mo. Uy, Lai pangit daw, oh. Cute nga eh. Dito na nung kayo sa doktor, mahaba daw kasi yung dila. Hindi, ito yung nanay kasi niyan.
Babae ba ito lalaki?
Babae.
Ay, yari ako kayo. Abi. Pero parang hindi na lalaki na makikita.
Ito kasi yung nanay niya. Nakalabas dito. Ayan, yung nanay.
Ako nga.
Si Ata. Sabi nga, pure cheats yun, pero nang ninuwala, ito yung kay sa doktor eh. Parang naano daw yan ng Japanese speech. Buti nga hindi siya lumalaki eh.
Bullshit yun na ba tayo? Eh, wala kang line na ragdan din yan.
Time is yan. Yung mabalahibo.
Puro parot lang kayo doon, wala?
Pero bakit di kasi nag-aasawa, babae lalaki naman pala. Pati yung kay Renz, babae lalaki, nag-hit na nga daw yun eh. Hindi yan kay Ate Connie, lagi nandito anak na, yung pusa ni Ate Connie, hindi niya bubono. Yung lagi nga niyang pinapatungan eh.
It was more in that moment, in the context of what was happening there. But you're technically correct, so I can appreciate that. Yeah.
Shout out to Simran.
Yeah, appreciate shout out to me.
Rare kasi yung kulay niya. Yung Siamese kasi diba parang abo. Ayan, puti na ano.
Put on the team.
Yeah, clock's seriously ticking right now, but I think...
Wait, what's the real clock?
So,
Is there an actual timer like, okay, this is late? They do have some scaling options.
I don't think so, as long as Conquer goes the right items. I think gaming can even
Tapos yung scale at ginising sila ni boss. Ginising kayo ni boss, no?
To be honest, so... This second Aegis, I would
lalabas
say,
Ella.
goes the way of OG. I have them all the way. Goes the way of Gaming Gladiators. They have another good moment of opportunity. Gonna find Cell right here.
Nag-samba ata. Nagsamba ba kayo, Eli?
Other than that, in the Dota universe, you got Macrofired and Sunstruck at the same time. That's...
Gago naka-BKB. Ito, Requiem sa mukha.
Gago kung magagay tayo, bahay na tayo. Hindi traffic, no? Tangkinot.
Traffic pala, no? Paggabi. Sinumaan. Nice one. Bawi pa.
Basta Rusher, traffic.
Walang BKB, B.
Kakasa mga bahay mo.
Patay ka, B. Sunog.
Bottom, go.
Kaya pa din.
Yung kinakawa ka sa mami ko. Sito ka pala eh. Sito lang tayo.
Good spellcasting and killer instinct there from Amar. Finds both setups. Just perfectly done. Recognize what he can do, and again, Ace on the Beastmaster gets nothing off. He has BKB. He's actually really farmed on the Beast. He's the highest member of his team, as usual, almost.
Ayan, galawa yan. Ano ba, panalo ko tayo? OG? Ganun ba, OG? Kilig?
Oo, OG. Nakabawi.
This right here, when this fails...
Pag tumagal naman tong naga eh.
Wala ka na kahapon. Wala ka eh.
Panlaban ni Mabis sampay, hindi siya makasunod niya.
Ace gets blown up, full-on spell comboed, and they even have that ensnare from the side too. Just beautiful Dota from OG, finding the angles and the right picks when they're given the opportunity. And all of a sudden, now this looks pretty dangerous for Gaming Gladiators. This move, I dare say, has to work. If this works and they get first, they can kind of stabilize. If it fails again, Naga's starting to reach critical mass soon.
Yeah, we can see the Roach.
Si Ace friend ko yun sa Steam. Di maging jowa ng tropa. Yung isa nila.
Ano sabi ni Kim? Ako tatago ko si Kim.
Gago ba kasi hanapin siya ni John D. Kaya siya umuwi.
Ito sabi ko kay Kim. Hindi, saka nagsabi ko, bito ko may umuwi. Natid mo ako.
Gago nag-BKB pa be. Wala ka ng BKB mamaya. Katy Perry. Patay si Amar.
Ano yung troll?
Hindi, ano?
Sino yung may tubig? Sino?
Biso tubig. Gago niya, X-Mart pa. Oh, gogo. Panis kay kuya mo, Amar.
Ulo lang.
Uy, ayun.
Ulo pinabalik.
Kala mo ah. Bata pa yun, 17 na. Pero ano, parang mga nasa 20s.
If I'm honest with you, the game could have almost...
Siya ata pinakamabata ngayon.
But Amar did not find the stun of
Hindi
trees
ata.
there.
Anong Dismaster po, Sport?
Off-lane. Okay.
Didn't manage to click on the back hero in that
For
stun.
nila yung Disruptor ah.
Look at that potential stun combo into Ice Power. They literally just wiped them out if that lands on 3 heroes, but instead, Ace gets to
Oo,
play
yun. Sayang yun. Sayang yun.
huge impact there with the
Pero yung kulay niya. Yan, ganyan. Flame point. Di ba, chocolate na kulay ng ano, parang abo-abo.
Like, you still have decent control. You didn't lose Roche.
Saan magaling si Siren?
He's to keep in mind the enemy team has a
Gas mata.
Sino na sila sa MPL? Blacklist, Echo. Oh, Brent. Yung Brent lumaban pa sa ano, lumakas sila. Pwede mo magpalit kahit ongoing yung tournament.
It's a nice benefit.
Yeah, they're going to keep the road control.
Kaka-Roshan na, 26.
Indeed, Roche number 2 so very important.
Look at the shard too if you get it on gaming.
Walang niya. Makilang ikaw na yan. Talang niya.
4 months pa.
4 months pa yan. Pwede rin dyan game.
June, July,
Game
August. 4 months.
I don't think time
Dito na lalabas ng blacklist na. Oo, di ba? Kaya may set, makapamatay niyo yung dati, mga sinaw na bilang niya.
Has begun.
Makapamatay pa lang niya.
Really want to get this quickly, but OG
Naku naman siya, natapos
is going to give him some vision. There's
Ang gabong ganda. Grabe naman si Amar. Kaso nakapag BKB. Sayang.
Palo ako kanito. Palo.
Wala, ano lang. Nakuha ni ano, ni BCM.
Galing putang ina.
Gagong galing ni Amar. Oo, na-sleep. Kaso wala lang talagang ano, wala talagang follow-up. Kulang.
OG winning this fight.
Ano sa tayo?
The Roshan. I didn't see if they got the shard, but I assume
Dati nung pala tayo uwi.
static BZM took
Ulit
it.
na.
Di ba nga? Tricycle dyan, tas bus nga pa PITX. Marami dyang bus dyan ka.
perfect spell casting there.
Gago po.
Amar has
Hindi, wala na. Hindi na tayo na.
crazy.
Nagapang na lang. Nagapang sa hapon, ano? Okay na yun eh.
Guys, sige lang kayo papunta sa ano. Kaya ako. Kaya yung bandon.
Tas bus.
Hindi may bandon.
Hindi ba tayo yung iba yung ban? Mowa yun. Kung kayo gusto niyo ng ban Mowa or bus PITX. Pero mas advisable PITX kasi nandun lahat eh. Problema lang ata sa PITX, maraming tao ngayon kasi Sabado. Eh no, ang ganda ng ano niya, stun no. Ang kaso kulang yung dami. Na-late yung bulalakaw ni PC. Oh, napatulog eh. Wala nang BKB. Ah, na-use siya. Na-use ni Taiga.
Man. Good stuff from OG there. Get themselves a 10k lead and an Aegis on Invoker.
Paano sila pa mayaman?
They're set out to do.
Naka?
1v9,
Looks like Gaming Gladiators need to do
Kasi
something.
na malakas kayo yung
Pretty
Yung
massive
Binoy ng
outplaying in
puta.
the come team fight to fight 2 lives Invoker with
Depende nun.
Yep, it's going to be a tough one. No doubt.
Nakano
about
siya
it.
hex
And we
siya
haven't
eh.
even discussed Iragi too much this game, but he has a Scotty, Manta, Butterfly, and working a heart next. He is going to be tough to
Tsaka mayaman, baliw.
And I think
Pero ikaw na lang sa yung 1v9 daw, sabi.
a lot of the time Invoker this is a good item in the slot.
Pampay. Ay, tukay yun, sigurado ko tukay. Di, ano, human waste ka, boy. Naging grab ka ba? Maraming human waste ka. Ano kasi malalayo yun? Kaya ako na gano'n na. Kaya ba, kakamuha sa self ko.
Hindi use yun, makikita.
100 pa yun. Saan ka ba?
Oo.
Ikat na ba siya?
Bilis bumaba eh. 2.5 ang yun.
Gusto ko samahin na lang namin kung masahin namin.
Kung ina mo, ubos. Bigla.
ko lang yun, man.
Nabigla yung andahin ang puta. Ayan na si Naga. I'm
Ay,
saying,
kasi mo yan, talaga mo.
Mabis! Lalabas yan. Buhatin mo, Elan.
Hawa ka na yung ano.
Inuwa ka yung bulto takbo.
Anong lalaro mo? Pero close mo lang yung door kasi yung dalawa.
Yeah, this is starting to look more and more like a formality of just going down the lane and getting a lane of barracks now for OG. They have 50 seconds on the Shadow Fiends. Without that hero, Game Gliders can't find what I was
May
getting
magaling
at.
yan pag alam nila ang ano,
Which a lot of the time is good here,
bilis
but the
hanggang
problem is
Skydo. Hindi
you don't
sila
have the
hawak.
damage against Nagamore. Good tornado time.
Kahit pinipilit ko ayaw yun.
Sa ano ba sa Immortal? Na-expire ako ng mga ng poster.
But Uragi finds himself the celery.
May cute ano naman eh.
Pero wag ka na makatimingan talaga ng kupa na tao na ayaw na gabi.
Kasi Immortal.
Uy, sumabis!
He wants the mana back, so he's just gonna go
Sumabis!
Guys, ano eh, di ba sa ating iniyak sa ano?
Dito.
Nakapalabahan ng mental dito.
Boom, still trying to defend.
Hindi nila kaya, Seth.
Hindi na kaya.
Tornado comes out. The BZM.
Sa kanila sa ano sa server kasi nila marami nag-a-adjust pag nakita nilang pro player.
Eh sa atin, walang pagkaan dyan
Dito walang pakialam yung tao sa iyo. Tapos pag nakita pag pro player lalo ka pa kukupalin.
Pag nakita ko ba, kakakupaling ka.
Sa PC to Pag-carry ko kasi.
Pag ditripan ka lalo.
Carry ko.
Kung tuwa yun, kung nagagalit sa'yo eh. Mga makakadya.
Mga Pinoy eh.
Ano, nakapansin, no?
Kung nakita ko, diba natalo na kayo? Tapos ulit, may 5 months ulit, nakalaro na naman. Pag-ibig pa ka na naman. Mga gagawin mga walang pakita sa'yo na mag-
Kasi ang Pinoy isipin niyan pro player yan, madali lang mabawi MMR mo.
But they actually took the chance that
Wala, puro
he
assassin doon.
doesn't have it ready yet. We get the kill there, and they did.
Gagrab kaya?
It's really surprising to me that they find that kill on BZM.
Carpool.
Ganyan mo, 6-footer. Ay, 6-footer.
Tangkat dun, sir.
Sitter ka na.
That was pretty crazy. And
Ilan ba kayo?
I like this from Boom. He deviated from the hex.
6-seater.
I think he realized
Saan kayo papatid?
like the Naga
Sa
illusions.
Cubao?
Marikina.
Marikina. 2.5 mga ganyan.
Oo, gago. Yung nga, tubig
Ano
lang.
yung image niya?
Meron nga
Itong
ito
bahay ko, 1-2 lang.
Kami sa amin nga yun. Sa amin yung maghahatid, hanggang sa Caloocan, 5K.
5 lang yun.
1.5 ano yung sasakyan natin, Jeep? 2.5. At least hindi kayo hassle.
Siyempre, meron kasi papunta ng Manila dyan. Manakira tayo.
Kinakagat mo yung etlog niyan pag sinira ka ni Mami.
Tignan mo, search mo sa Grab kung magkano lang.
Eh wala namang Grab dito, wala kang makukuha.
Search nga lang eh.
Mga 2K ata yan.
Hindi, 1-2 lang.
Marikina.
Oo, sa amin nga, 1-1 lang eh. QC pa yun.
Yung malapit lang Marikina QC.
1-5.
Oh, diba?
1-2. Ay, 1-4 ka. 1-4 lang. 1-4 lang, beto na. 1-4 na bhi3. Galing yung... Oh, 4-seater. 1-8 lang, diba? Hindi, papapagod yan. Oo, ano, tas may tawagit pa. Oo, 2 yan, 2. Hindi, mas mura yan. Mura dyan sa transport.
Naku po. Naku po Uragi, ang ka na naman sa kano mo.
6 packs, may sipon isa. Tayo bisa ko, may 6 packs, tas may sipon isa. Power to mga. Wala pang lasa isa.
Ayan na, Hexo. Buhay pa be.
Uy, yung pusa ito mga... Gawin mo yun. Sila yung lumabas na nakatutakasan.
Ayaw ko yun siya ito.
Ano ba yan? Sabi mo dito. Ano yan?
Tinawlan nga siya nung pumasok siya. Tiko kagabi. Tinatakasan.
Ibenuin ka sa ako eh.
Oh, late lang. Sana hindi na siya lumaki. Ice.
Because that could have gone really
Lagi
scary
nakalabas dila. Ice.
if they had chosen to commit a little bit too much. So
Yeah, mobile. Nagdodota ka na pa ng Chucky. Nandito lang sila ngayon kasi na-miss daw nila mag-inom.
Spawn timer obviously not known to the teams. We know it.
Si Chuck na si Zap.
But it is the area to play on the map now.
No.
I actually think the biggest concern for Gaming Gladiators right now is how they deal with BCMs and Goku now vs Lincoln. I actually think it's really, really tough for them to solve this hero with the heroes that they have available right now. He's creating insane amounts of space. He's forcing them to use BKBs, and they can't really go on him first unless they get a really clean way to break Lincolns. Like you can X-Mark or glimpse into Lord, but it's just very, very hard. He's so fast.
Tanong ako magkano kailangan. Kukuha lang ako pangalan ng pambalik tayo dito. I-message ko na. Alam ko mo? Ngayon? Oh, dito yung ML. Dito sa lahat ng box.
Of course, he's had the heart for a little bit now.
Wala, pagdating niya, ako uwi na
At this
yan.
point, he is running out of room in his inventory. I guess the treads can go, potentially. I don't know about the old Aghanim Scepter.
Ito ako kawato nila bakit. Kasi mukha ako.
Sino ba yung tawag ng tawag?
Tawag ka ng tawag.
Boars have died.
Sige, punta ka na lang.
The Aghanim Scepter.
Kaya pa ako, puta ka na. Hindi ko nang gagawin ito.
Very tense here. This could be the final
malis na.
game, and if it goes poorly,
they decide to send in their Thunderhide.
Magkano tama, Billy? 3K.
Getting soul ripped now. The fight between Triceratops and Demon.
Ano ba siya? Hindi per game? Per game siya nag-bet?
How much winner?
Hindi na nahuli nila ito. Wala na sa labas na yun.
Ilang ads? Ilang ads? Ilang ads? Magkano tama nun?
They do have the good vision here,
Or
actually,
5
which
siguro.
could give them a moment of opportunity. They see a lot of heroes right now. Now they don't.
Magkano na yung pera ko dyan?
Obviously, the vision for Gaiman with the Hawk potentially here playing a big role. And let's see if it's the Axe. It's Refresher Shard. All right.
Good on Invoker.
Okay.
It is very good. Less exciting. Let's be real. Scepter's cool.
No, I think an Invoker Shard. Shard is pretty exciting.
Very good, like I said. Wolf is still alive.
Game 2 na ba yan? Ano, Maki?
Game 3. Lamang OG, 14K.
Sino yung game 1?
OG.
Game 2.
Yung GG.
Ano yung best of 3?
Oh. Naglagan.
The Tombstone comes out, so it cancels the Blink Dagger, but here's the song just to kill Tombstone. See if they can turn this around on top. The Ice Path connects onto Celery.
Gago, ang sakit din.
The Requiem as well, but doesn't really connect on much. Age gets the blink up, and a nice double burrow from Amar. Inside this kinetic field are two members of OG. They find the first support, so 1-for-1 to start. Buybacks galore, though. As Dirachi
hindi kaya ng SF. Hindi kaya ng SF yung Naga. Ito pa isa. Di ba tama sana ako sa hula ako? Walang buyback yung SF.
OG trying to clean up even more as Ace on the high ground, being slow to a crawl and being brought down again. And OG in prime position to move on here in the lower bracket of TI-11.
Yeah, if they were to just push now, they would get megas. There's two cores without buyback on Gaiman, but they will get the Roche first. Keep it safe. They're not over-rotating for the Roche, though. They're doing it with two heroes and leaving a
Cheese
little bit of
B!
space for fun here.
Hindi niyo kinuha yung cheers!
Feels more.
May cheese pa.
Tastes better, too, which is not unimportant. Top racks are gone.
The creeps will take care of it. And onto the mid lane, OG goes. Tofu trying to stem the bleeding, but I feel like they might just have to give up the megas and try to fight outside of that. They don't have these heroes up for quite a while.
So talaga mabis
For OG to try to finish this right here, right
nice
now.
One, OG.
Onto the Disruptor. Does have buyback, though. Cellar's going to be spotted in the trees. Tornado not going to connect. Along with the Sunstrike as well. Looks like he'll make it back into the fountain as the song being used to control them. Nice path. Oh, BKB from Dirachi, but if you have to use that next to your fountain, that's probably good news for OG. Glimpse back on the Taiga, but the Mega Creeps have come. The zoning is successful.
Grabe yung stun ni Ama.
Ice path to follow the Dirachi with the Requiem from a good distance here, but they're really just working on the illusions. That's what's taking so long.
Lamang talaga sa dito. Pag nakapag-farm tong si Rani. Grabe, sunog.
Epicenter to follow. Gaming Gladiators will fall as OG will move on. Ace, the last remaining member of Gaming, but he's gonna die inside the fountain as GGs are called. So Gaming Gladiators, a great year overall, eliminated here at TI11, and OG will move on.
That was spicy. If you
si Tofu.
minutes ago, that looked like OG could have easily been on the ropes with one good top push. Gaming Gladiator's strategy was not far from being successful in what it was trying to accomplish with that first
Solid.
but that one moment where they have Beastmaster caught mid, it snowballs into
Parang natanggal naman yung braso nito ni Misha nung inapira.
they get the next rush and then they just clean up. That is that's how it is when you play these risky lineups. Like, and I'm not gonna say Gaming Gladiators, oh, they were all in and they lost to that one moment. It was still possible to recover, but OG just had amazing jumps from Amar after that, and BZM again on that Invoker just crushing. Really impressive stuff from OG to also keep cool after the last game, right? Like you
we
said,
should mention, like a game and a half in, it looked like it was just gonna be a 2-0 for OG.
Yeah.
And Game In really showed a lot of life. They made a great comeback in that game number 2, and then game 3 it started out, like you said, in their favor. But unfortunately for them, it just wasn't enough. Let's go to the panel and see what they have to say about this series that OG just won.
Thank you very much, Sunspan and Sinner, and indeed, congratulations to OG. They move forward and what a game to do it in as well. It was pretty clutch there because before 20 minutes, we did have Gaming Gladiator knocking on that tier 3 tower on the side of OG, but they couldn't do it in the end. I'm joined by Jenkins, Effie, and Lacoste, and we're going to break the game down and obviously also say goodbye to Gaming Gladiators. Effie, this third and deciding game, tenacity from OG in here.
Absolutely, but also just the ability to cut waves gave them so much, because when it looked like they were going for that early end on GG and they were just going down mid, going down bottom, that one looked pretty decisive.
Yes!
They were able to kill one wave with Jakero's
So, ayun mga B.
And of course they were cutting waves with the Sand King, and the Sand King...
Ayan si Ace. Sayang. Oh, ano ba yun, uy? Kasing pa. So, mamaya na ulit mga B. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Ay, yung mood.
Yeah, in this game and in the game 1, it really felt like they were in a position to just get run over by Gladiators' early aggression kind of style, but they were able to just play the map in a way that unraveled Gaming Gladiators. And when things started to go wrong for them on GG, it felt like they didn't stop going wrong. They never really pulled themselves back together. Maybe they got 1 or 2 key kills or key pickups here, but for the most part, once they stumbled, they lost their footing completely.
By the way, guys, No Tail was officially right.
Okay.
This OG is now guaranteed to at least get the same placement as the last OG at TI, or better, of course, if they continue going. We've seen them do lower bracket runs, so looks like rebuilding this roster from scratch with a bunch of newbies turned out to be a pretty good decision.
Yeah, a bunch of newbies turned out to be pretty good at this old Dota game. Also, of course, want to shout out to Gaming Gladiators. They exit here as the first team from their region. They have had a decent year, of course, starting off very strong as well in the Western European region as a fresh squad.